Now hiring for skilled service technicians and skilled equipment operators. The fall plants have arrived at Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. Come on in for the best selection. See the beautiful mums and also fall vegetable plants too. And if you're planning to do a little canning, Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain has plenty of mason jars and lids. But hurry, they won't last long either. And be sure to see the line of Traeger pellet grills at Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain. And see their page at whatsupshopper.com. That's Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. Hershey's ice cream, now available in cups, cones, and milkshakes at Jumpin' Jed's in Falston. Come in for your special treat with a variety of flavors. While there, see their one-of-a-kind rustic log furniture table and chair set. Also, Amish and locally made furniture items. Jumpin' Jed's has Billy Jacobs fall prints. And see the news display of leather bags, purses, and cross bags, made right here in the good old USA. Jumpin' Jed's, Main Street in Falston, right across the old Stamey store. Open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 3. Like them on Facebook, too. Gaston County's premier flooring center is Carpet One Interiors, located at 2757 East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia. Seeing is believing at Carpet One Interiors in Gastonia, where you get a large selection at a low price with expert advice. Ask about their beautiful guarantee. If you don't love your new carpet, they'll replace it free. And right now, luxury vinyl plank is just $2.99 a square foot. Come see for yourself and refresh your home this year with a stop at Carpet One Interiors, 2757 East Ozark Avenue in Gastonia. Online at carpet1gastonia.com.
The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
Hello, this is Milton Baker inviting you to listen to NASCAR Racing right here on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
The game.
We're having a bit of technical difficulty with.
Yeah. Is that us?
Yeah.
Stock brought to you by Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, 828-919-3001, and Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension, Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. And thank you to Mitchum's Kitchen for sponsoring our Saturday morning breakfast. Terry bringing that in. We appreciate it. Terry has been working on his score sheet from around the area. Terry, what were some of the local football scores last night?
Yeah, we can go over them. It was Hickory Grove defeating Highland Tech 49-34. Cherryville. It was Thomas Jefferson, 23, Pine Lake Prep, 8. So I guess the quarterback for Pine Lake Prep is not there. He was a senior last year and gone. Yeah, it was South Point 35, East Gaston 7. So East Gaston, who had defeated North Gaston last week.
Yeah, that was 1-0 after first. 0-0 after the first quarter is what I'm trying to say. So it was competitive for a while, but then South Point pulled away.
Burns, it was your Burns team defeated Crest 21-20. It was Shelby over AC Reynolds 15-12. AC Reynolds falls to 0-2 on the year. It was Stuart Kramer 38, Bessemer City 6. It was Bandy's 49, Fred T. Ford 3. Very impressed with Bandy so far this year, scoring a lot of points on the year and giving up very few.
And Ford was on the upswing for a while, Terry, but it just seems like maybe they don't have the talent that they've had. They've taken it on the chin a couple times.
Yes. It was Freedom over East Burke 13-12. It was Bunker Hill going to 2-0 on the year with a 42-0 win over St. Stephen's. North Lincoln improves their record to 1-1 with a 28-18 win over Lincoln. Salisbury over Polk County 44-0. Chase, very impressive, going to 2-0 with a 56-6 win over Black Mountain Owen. It was Hendersonville 58, West Henderson 0, and I think I heard Kevin last night like 130 some points to nothing.
Yeah,
or real something like that this year for Hendersonville. It was Alexander Central 41, North Gaston 6. Kings Mountain evens their record at 1-1 with a 14-0 win over Asheville. Maiden did a lot of damage against Watauga, 47-0, running their record to 2-0. Lake Norman 15, Mitchell 12. It was South Iredell losing to Statesville 27-14, and Bavard over Robbinsville 16-15.
So thank you, Terry, for giving those scores around the area. That Maiden team you've been talking about is in the conference with West Lincoln, and I tell you, they've been impressive in their first couple of games.
Yeah, they have been, and I think that's why I'm glad right now that we're not playing conference foes. West Lincoln's still working on a lot of things, getting Truesdale sorted to be in the quarterback. Got a nice running backs now with Avery. That's another 149 yards for him last night, giving him almost close to 400 yards through 2 games. Gilmore's in the backfield, nice running back there, and Winnick's. So they got a lot of talent in the backfield. Just got to work them all in and figure it out. But the defense from West Lincoln is what's impressive to me. 2 games, only giving up 14 total points. Very impressed with them there.
Yeah, I saw the defense in Burns and Crest was very good. I mean, the second half, Burns was shut out completely. They had 21 points at halftime, didn't have a first down in the second half. How often do you win a football game when you don't have a first down in the second half?
That's true.
I mean, it almost never happens, but Burns' defense came up with a stop when they needed it. Like you said, Terry, it's early in the season. You got some stuff to get worked out. I think that Burns is still working on their offensive identity and what they want to do. They got some new pieces, new quarterback, trying to work things out, trying to find an identity. What bothers me is they've not been able to run the football. I think they had, sacks come off the running yardage in high school, so it's always a little misleading, but they ended up with about 13 or 14 yards rushing, Terry. That's not going to get it done.
No, not throughout the season.
I mean, you can't control the ball. If you don't have a running game, you're up 21-7. I mean, that's what you want. I mean, you want to run some clock, control the ball, and if you can't run the ball and then you're trying to throw it, and you throw incomplete passes, stops the clock. That's how Crest was able to get back in it. Was impressed with Husky, the young man who's taken over the quarterback duties at Crest. And he's young. He doesn't have a whole lot of experience. And last year I heard had a shoulder issue, which prevented him from getting some experience on the JV. But I'll tell you what, he's tremendously athletic. A couple of really nice throws that he made, as a young quarterback. So I think he's going to get there. But it's like Burns with their young quarterback, Mooney. It takes time. It's going to take some snaps to really get the rhythm going down for both those teams. So Burns, a big winner, 21-20, and that one's going to be savored for a long time. As we have talked about how the series has been lopsided, but in recent years it's been more competitive, and Burns getting that win. Now, moving forward, they've got Kings Mountain next week. Kings Mountain, the winner, 14-0 over Asheville, as you told us. I've heard that Kings Mountain's struggling a little bit to find their offensive identity.
Well, I mean, when you look at Cleveland County, you think of, well, I mean, you know, they don't think about playoffs. They think about state championships up there. But for Burns, a big win. I run into a few guys yesterday when I went to get me and my wife went and got some food, and they were sitting in there, and I kind of walked up to them. They had Burns stuff on, getting ready to go to the game, and I kind of looked at them, and I said, man, pulling for the Chargers tonight, right? That was real good. They kind of was like,
sure that went well.
You know, they kind of looked at me like real strange, like, can you not read? But, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure that Terry's always trying to start something.
They knew you couldn't read.
Yeah.
So, you know,
especially if you had an NC State shirt on, Terry. What was you wearing?
What?
What was you wearing
I didn't
at
have
that
a
time?
state shirt on at that time. I had
Told
a
on
West
yourself if you
Lincoln,
were.
a West Lincoln Rebel, 2-0 West Lincoln Rebels.
You're right. We're going to talk about that. That earned them a spot in the top 10 in the power poll. They dropped 4 spots. Burns dropped 3 spots.
We dropped
with your
4
wins.
spots.
Both teams dropped with wins last night.
How do you beat a 3A team and drop?
I played defense, Tom.
We did play defense. Only
You gave up too many points.
Well, speaking of defense, how about Terry with 100 and let me find it again. 103 points on the season to 0.
How did Hendersonville enter our?
No. The Maiden Blue Devils.
I know, but how did Hendersonville enter our top rankings?
They're in Chase's conference.
So who cares? But
we put the conference opponents there.
Okay.
We'll explain that in a minute, Terry. The Maiden, 103 to nothing so far this year on the season. Hendersonville, 137 to 35.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
And you're ranked 7th.
Yes.
You fell all the way to 7th.
We gave up 35 points.
Yeah.
All that offense you're producing does not mean nothing.
No, defense is a little leaky. Give up 35. Look on that top 10, Terry.
You must have a plus or a minus.
By the book, you'd say Bandy's, Bunker Hill, Burns, Hendersonville tied at 4th behind Maiden, Shelby, and Statesville, who are tied for 1st.
Yeah, so our top 10 now, our new top 10 folks. Coming at number 10, the West Lincoln Rebels with 4 power points, 2-0. They've given up 14 on the season. They lose the tiebreaker with Terry with South Point, who's got 4 points, 2-0 and 14 because of point differential there. They haven't played head-to-head. So you guys lose on that. Chase is got 5 points right now. They're number 8 and 2-0. And they give up 27 points.
Just want to give Coach Cogdell a little love on the radio. He's gone up there and done a good job of that program, got it going in the right direction. And Jordy Rumsfeld, who was at Burns, decided to go back there. He lives in Rutherford County and help that program. And they've been impressive. I would be interested to know what happened to some of those East Rutherford varsity players. I know they were talking about one came on over from East Rutherford, now playing for Chase. I heard the East Rutherford JVs won Thursday night, but them not playing varsity football this year. Somebody came and got a few of their players that still wanted to play.
No, Shelby and Chase do not play, right?
Nope.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is that not the back end of something?
Well, I mean, just that's our
that's how it is.
That's our glorious Chapel Hills design of the conferences, which is beyond stupid.
And 1.
I mean, it's beyond stupid. So we're gonna have Shelby play Highland Tech, but not Chase. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the streak ends this year, Terry.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Well, East and West didn't play, aren't playing this year.
Yeah.
After was it 50 or 60?
1966.
1966.
The last time they did not play as a West Lincoln versus East Lincoln. Now, Rock Springs was still part of that, so that's part of East Lincoln, but people don't look at it like that.
Well, Chase with 5 power points is now 8th in the poll. Hendersonville, Burns, Bunker Hill, and Bandy's have 6 power points right now. They're all 2-0. Defense is the separator. Hendersonville's give up 35. They're in 7th. Burns 27. They dropped from 3 to 6. Bunker Hill, the Bears have given up 18 points of 2 impressive wins so far this year. The Bandy's Trojans have just stomped the mud out of people this year so far, Terry. 10.
Yeah, they have.
They've given up only 10 points on the season, 2-0. So they end up number 4. Now, with that caveat, if East Lincoln wins today, they will be in that 4 through 7, 8 range because they'll be tied with those. So East Lincoln will be in there. If they lose, that'll bump West out of the top 10. If Forest View beats East Lincoln today, this top 10 will be the same thing. So that's not going to change anything. So that could knock you guys out, Terry. If East beats Forest View today, you're out of the top 10. All right, the top 3, a tie: Statesville, Shelby, and Maiden. Statesville gets the 3 spot. They've given up 44 points on the season. Shelby, the 2, they give up 26. And Maiden, like we just said a minute ago, 103-0, Terry.
Very impressive. I mean, I knew when we come into this year, everybody had picked Maiden to win it, and they're showing why they were picked number 1, But Bandy's, be careful there. Bandy's a little bit better, and I heard from earlier in the year before the season ever started that they were pretty stout, and they are looking at it. All you do is look at the record, 2-0, ranked number 4 in our power poll, and 2 big wins, and neither one of them was close.
All right, going through some highlights right now from last night. This is, for the folks listening on the radio, we've got highlights. We're doing a Red Zone channel. This is Stuart Kramer with a fade in the corner for the touchdown. They got Bessemer twice on that play. Terry Bessemer last night gave up a bunch of passing touchdowns, really, and Cherville's throwing it around this year, so they got to buckle that down before the end of the season when that matchup happens. Let's see. This is Cherville's first play. I call this Touchdown Mama. Okay, this is what I call this play. Let's move it down up here for the folks watching on. You'll know why I call it Touchdown Mama. There she is! Got it in the end zone! I don't know if that's the kid's mom, and she's a Cherville fan. Lady stood up right in front of the camera as the catch was in the corner of the end zone. Cherville went up 7-0 early on the Rebels, Terry, and it wasn't, it says 27-7. It wasn't. It was a lot closer than that most of the game, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, at halftime it's 13-7, but you do a few things at halftime to change a lot of things, and in the second half, West Lincoln pretty much stalemated Cherville.
This is Lincoln from 10 yards out, just power football up the middle, rumbling, stumbling, 1 spin, 2 spins into the end zone and reach. Lincoln kid, that's Wingate from 10 yards out, rumbles in. Tom, this is one of your guys. This is the Husky pass. Now, we've got a different angle. Shannon Allen's got a different angle I can pull up here in just a second. But this is Husky rolling right, firing the corner of the end zone.
It's just great. That's a great pass. I mean, he's rolling to his right and just dropped it in a bucket. And now, he made a couple throws like that.
Was there, I needed to ask you, was there any question about whether that ball was caught?
Yeah, the Burns coaching staff came down there, thought he juggled it and dropped it. It was hard to tell from the booth. I mean, he was going to the ground, and, it might have come out, and he secured it, but so whatever he did.
Here's the other angle. It is questionable. I'll say that. I just didn't know what the conversation was.
Yeah, well, the conversation was, they wanted an incomplete pass, but if you look at it, it's in a bucket. I mean, look at that. That's in the bucket, man.
Good pass there, right where he needed to be.
Yeah.
And this is what they were talking about. Right there, it looked like he had bobbled it when he went down.
It's just hard to see. It's just hard to see. He might have, if we have 17 cameras.
Right.
We have 17 cameras like an NFL game. Might review that.
Put it this way. The 2 little kids sitting right here in the end zone, right there. Watch the 2 to the left. They both react like they think it's a catch.
Yeah.
One's mad and the other's happy.
Yeah.
I think we got a little Crest, a little Burns fan on that one, Tom.
Yeah.
So that was the score on that end. Let's get to some other highlights. All right, we're going pretty much in order. Terry, if you'd make room over there for Coach Pruitt here in just 2 seconds as he comes in, we'll go through theirs. This is Bessemer City and the Storm. This is the Storm with another touchdown. They won big last night, 31-6. Quarterback keeper off the end against the Yellow Jackets. Let's see. How about a 36-yard touchdown pass? Come on in and sit down, Coach. Get comfortable. We'll get you going in just a second. We're going through the other team's highlights. This is a 36-yard touchdown pass. Stuart Kramer on Bessemer kind of got him on the post here. And Tom, you'll see the safety got in a little predicament there with 2 guys in his zone and got beat right over the top for the touchdown into the corner. That made it 28-0 Stuart Kramer. Here is the Kahari Haynes interception, and Shannon got another angle of it. So we'll check out both angles. And from this angle, it's a weird shot, Tom, because the pass wasn't to the guy he was guarding. He stole it basically from a guy going down. Basically, if like it's a basketball, you're trying to get it down the court, and some guy stole it from out of nowhere.
It was hard to see because we're all the way on the other
20-yard
side.
line is where he picks it at. Watch the 20 numbers, and then boom.
Yeah.
So he was throwing it to the first down marker. Let's see if you got the kid out here. The wide receiver out wide was running a comeback here. The out route. He's throwing to the out route. The out route was looking like it was open there at the 30. That's who he's throwing to. Yeah. But Haynes underneath there at the 20, he's the one that picks it off. Boom, big, tall. How tall is he? He just reached up and snatched that ball.
He's probably 6'2" or so, yeah. I mean, he's but long-limbed. You know what I mean? He's long. And that one was hard to see because it's all the way on the other side of the field, and the way he intercepted that ball, I mean, it was surprising that he was able to make the interception from that angle. Well,
here's the interception from a very good angle. Shannon Allen had it for us. He's down on the sidelines watching this play. Bulldogs and Chargers. Oh, never mind. That was the sack. I saw the Kahari Haynes. Husky. I know he got it. I just saw
a lot of good defense played in that game, though. I mean, that was the difference.
Here we go. Here's the interception. So this is the one that we were just showing from the top angle. Matt Royster had that. This is Shannon Allen down on the sidelines for us. And then Haynes just picks it off, and then quarterback made the tackle. If you're going to throw it away, at least make the tackle, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was huge because Burns went in and got a touchdown. Both Charger turnovers are turned into 2 Bulldog touchdowns. That was the difference. If Crest doesn't turn that ball over, and they also had a outstanding run by Maury Adams wiped out by a penalty.
Okay.
I mean, and it was unsportsmanlike. It's one of those weird ones. I might ask Coach Pruitt about that, but I mean, it was a penalty and it was unsportsmanlike, but they didn't blow the play dead, tackled him at the 2, and they marked it. Unsportsmanlike was at the 50-yard line. They marked it 15 yards back and wiped out maybe like a 60-yard run all the way down to the 2-yard line.
This little 5-yard slant for the Bulldogs, little crossing pattern, got the man wide open in the middle of the field for the touchdown. That gave the Bulldogs 14-7 with Surratt. Mooney to Surratt.
Yeah, that was Surratt on that one. Surratt and the other touchdown was Chase Bridges.
This is North Lincoln. I don't have the names, but got the post here over the middle. Now, he's going to get all the way down to the 1-yard line and fumble, but they're going to call him down as he dives, boom, ball. You see the ball bounce out into the corner of the end zone, and the referee immediately calls the play. But safety's bit on the underneath, boom, right there, getting loose over the top and off for the races, although he got caught. The corner made it.
It looked like the ref was covering him and was running right.
He should have made the tackle.
Yeah, the ref should have picked it off.
North Lincoln scored from 2 yards out after that. No reason to show you that on that. Shelby, there's AC Reynolds kicked a field goal, make it 9-3. Here's the Lance Beatty with a big hit on the running back to force the fumble. Azari Brown scoop and score for the touchdown Bulldogs.
Yeah, this was huge.
Now, Coach, we're going to make sure 4's on. I will ask him while he's sitting here, Coach. Now, this is one of those ones where you want them to throw a flag on your team for false start.
Yes.
Watch this wide receiver on the right.
They missed a number of those. He
wasn't set, snap, balls out, fumble, and they're off to the races. And is that? Do you ever feel weird arguing? Do you ever have to argue that? Hey, we jumped off sides.
No. Wes, first, second touchdown last night. They had 2 people in motion, and the official beside me said that's another official's call. So
wow,
he saw it. He didn't call it. So,
okay.
So I mean, I'm not going to say anything else on that matter. That's a tough call in a game that was close at that time.
Right. Here is Kramer punting out of the end zone. This is Bessemer's only touchdown, Tom, and he actually kicks it. If you look, you don't even see the deep man. He kicks it straight left to one of the upbacks, the defenders over at Gardner. He picks up on the 22, then scampers in the end zone. That was Bessemer's only score last night. Special teams miscue. 25-yard field goal for Kramer. Shelby opened up with a touchdown drive against AC Reynolds. Not much scoring up in Asheville last night. A lot of times, these 2 teams have known to put the big points, the 40, 50-point games, up on the board, and to have a 15-12 games, a little unusual. Here's Maury Adams Tom, 20-yard run up the middle. He's just a tough little running back. He plays basketball that way. It's fun to watch him.
Yeah, he's a great athlete, and I tell you what, you're not bringing him down with an arm tackle. That's for sure.
It's one of those kids, Terry. He's just built like he's one muscle and his arms come out. But he's so athletic. He's so good with basketball. Check out the Chargers basketball this year. This is Jeremiah Norris' kick return, Tom, and Terry. The yard line monster got him on this one. The 35-yard line is going to get him. He had some good moves. He's really fast. But that 35-yard line will get you every time. Swoop! There he goes.
Nope. A cramp got him.
Oh, is that what they said? Is that what happened?
We had a couple guys. You can always tell.
I heard a bunch of cramps last night on the radio.
When they walk off the field and they look like they're walking on stilts, they've had a cramp. We saw that with about 5 or 6 Burns players.
So Norris with a big run. I don't know if he had scored. He had one man to beat, and he kind of slipped right there. And Tom says we got cramps.
That was we started about the 33-yard line. Did nothing with it. Crest was able to hold turnover on downs.
This is Stuart Kramer scoop and score. Bessemer had a bunch of fumbles last night. One thing on the option, it can happen sometimes, and that one on that turf just bounced straight up into the Storm's hands, and they walk it in for the score 38-6. AC Reynolds with another field goal made it 15-12. This is a long run by Lincoln and that set up a short touchdown. So we'll watch the big play. His little pass down the outside. He beats the man to the corner, and he's off to the races, and he's got to cut back all the way across the field. Thought he was just going to score there and run by the referee, and then he decided to cut back again. He still almost makes it in. 10-5 dives, and they're going to mark him down right about the 1 or 2, and Lincoln ended up scoring there. Couldn't come up with the victory as North Lincoln pulls out. Here's the Husky with I don't need to see a quarterback keeper. And then this was North Lincoln tapped in, and then the game clinching play we saw, I think a little while ago. This is the sack time to end the game.
Yeah, Nick Vincent is ended the last 2 ball games. Really, I mean, here he comes, gets off the block, and you see the sack right there. And I think that was Zari Brown coming up to help finish it off, and it was just an outstanding play. And he had the fumble recovery last week to help seal the game.
All right, we've got Coach Pruitt in the house now, and I'll get the camera set up here in just a second, right for you.
Me and Landon Hahn had a deal. We're going to wear our goatees out till we lose.
Oh, okay.
So I got the goatee going, and I got more gray in there than I thought I had.
Oh, God, he's looking too close at the camera. Well, Coach, 27-7 last night. West Lincoln comes in and gets the victory. You guys are now 1-1 on the season. And I got a charitable schedule somewhere around here, not in front of me. Blacksburg next week.
Yep.
And then who was it again?
Chase,
that's it.
Back to back.
And then Shelby, so on the road. So let's talk a little bit about last night, kind of give your synopsis of it, and I'll get some of the stuff set up.
Just a good high school football game, good crowd. 2 communities coming together. I thought things went very well for the game. I thought we played well. I thought West did some things well. Obviously, we did some things toward the end of the first half that got them the lead. It was a lot like a game 7-8 years ago when Mac George played. We probably played a little better than they did in the first half, and Mac took a screen pass and scored on the last play. And Avery got a ball out in the flats on 4th and, 12, Terry?
Yeah,
4th
something like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
4th and goal, but we weren't in the right position, and that's a result of me probably being a little greedy last week against Avery. We were kind of golden. We have thrown the ball probably a little more than we thought we would going into this season. And, we thought we had a couple things. We tried the V-cut to the right side a couple plays before we threw the V-cut to the left side. We threw a ball down the field on a route we call Ohio and got a pass interference. But overall, like when we single Landon to a single side, we have a little concept that we like to call tag, where we'll run a route off the backside. If you watch film, West does a lot of blitzing from their outside linebackers. Looks a lot like what Burns does, reduction front, and thus we felt like we could kind of find some space there. But number 10 was always underneath Landon, taking away the inside, and somebody's always over the top of Landon to single receiver side. So they did a really good job of trying to take the ball out of his hands, and thus when maybe we didn't have all of our weapons, particularly in the second half. We had a lot of cramping as well. Me and Coach Ponder discussed that. He said, Coach, the playing on the mountain got you. He says, after your first game, you're thinking, oh, we're in better shape than we are because you played in a different environment. It's not as hot. So he had a good point. He says that's why we don't play mountain teams a whole lot anymore. So it is what it is. But right before West got the ball for that drive to start the end of the first half, we had 3rd and long, and we tried to do something that we had put in for the game and just hadn't probably run it enough. And we went to that play, though I was talking, hey, if they don't roll and we're looking the other way, Chase went ahead and put a ball out for our guy in the middle of 3 guys. They pick it, return it up to about midfield, and that gave them a short field. If we run the first play of the second half in that situation, which we gained 15 yards, there's a chance that we could have still had the ball and the clock's running and they don't get the ball back and we go in at halftime at least tied. So that goes to the head coach, and as I told the guys, that's a bad call by me, puts us in a bad spot, and a punt probably would have been an okay play in that situation. So overall, you live and learn a little bit and try to keep the ball in our best players' hands and run the football maybe in times when we feel like we need to pass it.
Well, Coach, I'm going to tell you, the game was – I mean, you go into games like this, and I know for the last few years, West Lincoln's always been able to play you and kind of put y'all away, but your team was very prepared last night. You gave West Lincoln all they wanted. I mean, me and Andre have a little bet that I just barely won. But, your team played well. I was very impressed with you, very impressed with how you're bringing this squad along. Now, I know, I mean, when you sit and you look at your schedule and you say, well, you got Blacksburg, and I don't know anything about Blacksburg, but then after that, you got 2 tough games between Chase and Shelby. How are you looking at the future of your team coming up?
Oh, it's just I've spent more time last night. Normally in the evening after a game, I'll go through and watch the entire game. I think I watched up to Landon's catch. As a coach, you're like, oh, okay, I know what's going to happen here. It's a good thing, good feeling to watch. And then I went straight to Blacksburg, and they really got throttled the first game, but I knew very little about South Carolina football. And they played Green Sea Floyd's last night, which that was a game that they found. And less than a couple years ago, Green Sea Floyd's won state championship. So they beat Green Sea Floyd's last night. I was impressed with the things Blacksburg does, similar to West. They run at you, and they've got some size. But I think we're a good matchup with them in terms of similar schools. You know, they're the closest 1A school to Cherryville High School. That is not a charter or a private school, be it in any state. And Avery County is the second closest. So when I scheduled, that. And I told Q Tucker many years ago, I'd rather play in a conference with Avery and teams like that in Polk County than go play against charters and privates. But that's another year and another story. So mainly for our team right now, Terry, is trying to be healthy. And trying to keep the JVs intact because we've had so many contact trace with our JVs. I don't know if you was at the JV game the other night, but we got to the end of the game, and I thought I was going to run the last 2 plays of the JV game with 10 players. Now, that tells you we had the original Ironman back out there, I think, for that one, back to 1934 when the first team got called the Ironman. But if we can't field a stronger JV team, and we're supposed to play East Rutherford, then we'll try to, and I send someone a message this morning about that. But we're going to try to have 2 games each week if we can. And that goes into your thinking, too, because there's a few guys on the JVs that can give us some depth. And when we went to Avery County, it was nice to have a few more people on the sidelines. And we 8-quartered a couple guys. But, when you 8-quarter a kid and he's played pretty much the entire game the night before, he's an emergency player. He's not going to go in there and play. Every one of our kids played, and they walked out there on special teams. And the last 2 nights, because of dehydration and things of that nature, I spent timeouts just to put a kickoff return team together. That just was a difficult time for us right there in the middle of that game. But our kids kept fighting, and they wear on you. And we knew West was going to run at us, and they did the things that they had done. I think the thing that really makes them a difficult thing for a defense is they throw just enough option in there to make you have to play. Yeah. And in the second, I guess it was the first touchdown, our linebacker, number 6, I don't know how many tackles Cam Bolin had, and he put some hits out there, and those kids from West got right back up and went out and did it again. So I got to give them credit. But he was focused on the fullback because Avery carries it so many times, and his responsibility was to scrape to the quarterback, and he did not. And then our safety was just not quite in position to make the tackle when they got a touchdown. So you got to give them credit for that, and that's why they were tough. And I thought kids on both sides played hard, and it was just a good high school football game. And I'll say this too, our kicking game improved a little bit. We got Henry Gill out there from our soccer team, so he's able to kick the ball down the field, and we got them. The first time they returned it up to about the 40, but the second time we had them inside the 25, and we haven't done that on the football field at Cherryville in a long, long time. So I think Henry's going to help us out in that area.
Well, you had more?
No, I was just going to say, some of the things you were saying. When I watched West Lincoln last year against Lincolnton, their running game is so dynamic. I know it's got to just drive you crazy. You talking about that assignment football. And last year they had about 4 or 5 different guys who would carry it. And I mean, that just makes it like people think the running game's simple, but it's not. I mean, when you run it like West Lincoln does, it's very difficult to defend.
Well, they've got 2, I feel like, that really can go this year. And then I was impressed with number 3, and Terry, I don't know his name. If you want to, can you tell me who number 3 is?
We got Winix and Gilmore and Avery.
Yep.
I mean, in our backfield, but
and I was impressed. I think y'all got some freshman running backs on the JV team that look pretty good. So, I mean, they're going to keep coming. They're going to keep doing the things.
Well, Coach, let's go through some highlights real quick before you get out of here. This is your touchdown earlier in the game. Went up 7-0. We were joking on the radio a little while ago. Touchdown Mama. I don't know if you know who this is that throws up her hands by the back of her head, but we'll see.
I think I know who it is, but
she's excited.
I'll probably not say who it is.
It might not even be her Mama. Pass to the corner. Touchdown, a little fade route, good pass another way. And we talked last week about Chase and the touch he puts on the football.
Yeah, he. I mean, we're in what we call a zero protection against the odd front team, and that they do some things with their outside linebackers, and we got to cover that. So our tackles did a really good job right there. Our tackles picked up those people, but later in the game there was a couple times where we could have done a better job, and that goes with. As we get longer and longer in games, and we got a lot of guys playing both ways, and if they don't play both ways, basically our defensive line is our offensive line, and they have to share positions. Other than Mason Grindstaff, and we've had Corey Austin, who's came and helped us out because he wasn't available at the beginning of practice. He was out of state. He played. I thought Corey played really well last night, but he did. And this is the option
quarterback
keeper. Right there. So and then also. We did something different defensively because of their run. We cannot just stay there in a 3-4 and play their run. So we had to reduce our front and what we called an eagle. So when we did that, it really affected our outside perimeter defense, and thus they were able to get on the corner there. If you noticed on that play, we didn't even have anybody on the pitch, I hate to say.
Yeah, well, that's one thing West Lincoln's learning too is with Truesdale. When you go away from Hewitt, and all of a sudden Truesdale, he's learning. He's first year at a quarterback position, and you're trying to understand your team and where you're supposed to be. And I don't care how many practices you have, Coach, until you're in game situations to see what people are going to do. Each game that he's out there and he's helping himself and the team's helping himself, the better he's going to get. So.
Definitely.
Well, Coach, this is West Lincoln going up 13. This is the pass play.
It was on the 15, not the 12. So it was out there further. And the clock was running. Neither one of us had a timeout. I wish I'd have had one so I could have babysit our defense. And they were just trying to get a play, and it was 4th down. I thought it was 4th and goal, but it looks like it's about 4th and 5. So
they hit the fullback out of the backfield. I guess he's tall kid. I might even be tight end. I can't tell the number there.
It's the fullback. It's number 20.
And you've got all your defensive backs got the 2 receivers swallowed up. Nothing there, but he just snuck through the line and got out there in space.
We're in our coverage that we played a lot of the game in defense because of the way they run, but we brushed that up in the second half and did a little better in that end. We changed our coverage and slid, and that's another example. Normally we'd have an outside linebacker. The first drive of the game, I think both teams went 3 and out about the first 4 series, so I thought the defenses played good. So we got in 3rd and long, and we got in our base defense, and he came out there to flats, and our outside linebackers right on top of him. So right there, we're not in our base. It's late. The clock's running. Our kids are running up to the line, and we just didn't cover that edge. Well, go ahead. Rewind that play all the way to the beginning.
Which one? This one?
Yep. You can't. It starts a little late. It's okay.
Hold on. I get it. This is where we're at. Is him in motion as early as I got.
But in me, I'm on the side with my judge, and he's back almost behind the fullback right now, but he's going to start at the wing position where he always is. But as he's getting ready to go in motion, the right wing was still not set. So if you got more than one guy moving at the same time,
you can see him right there actually. So Coach, watch the wing. He takes a step up right now, and the wing, the guy's fully in motion behind the quarterback.
But,
almost.
I mean, it is what it is, and,
he takes
I tried to address it. And then actually on the kickoff, we had a guy down with a cramp, and I go out. As a coach, I'm going to go out and check on my kids. But also sometimes if I know that they're healthy enough to go and it's not something that's dangerous, I'll get a chance to speak to the officials. And I just said something to him about that play, and his response to me was something that the other official had said. It didn't work together, and that's when it's early in the year. And I said, well, look, y'all don't make that same mistake next week. I said, we're not going to change it tonight, so if y'all could work on that, that would be great. And there's the option again. There's the pitch. That time we do have a guy on pitch. He got blocked, and then our angles just aren't very good. And there's Cam, number 6 for us. If you ever watch a kid fly around, now he ain't always going to make the best plays. He ain't always going to be in the best position, but you're going to see him hustle and play. And if we can get everybody on the field to play as hard as him, we'll be okay before the end.
What's his name?
Cam Boland.
All right.
Cam Boland.
Well, just, as a coach of perspective, I pointed out last night, we ran the option at Bessemer, and on this play, this is an option coach's dream for the most part, right, Coach? If you're pitching the ball 6 yards downfield and don't see nothing until then, as far as I know, defensive not for you, but as far as running that option, a lot of the kids either keep it, the quarterback keeps it by this, so you don't see a lot of downfield pitching. And when I see that, I think it's fun to see the downfield pitches like that. And the kid, you're right, 6 hustle down there, just couldn't quite get it on the angle.
Our scheme typically is for our quarterback not to pitch it. And actually, a couple weeks ago, we discussed a couple plays where we could, and Chase lit up a little bit, and Kevin was like, yeah, I think we could pitch. But we're not ready to do that yet. So
I totally
understand.
See.
But after 2 weeks of the season, say, hey, we're 1-1 in the games that we played, and we fell behind early against Avery, and we come out against a good West team now that's undefeated and that's going to make some noise in their conference, and took the lead and played really well in the first half. We just got to brush up some things. As I told the kids last week, even though we played well, I'm sure there's some things we can do better. And even though we felt like we might not have played our best last night, I'm sure there's things on film that we did better that we can hopefully exemplify too. So I'm going to go move some laundry and get home, and the wife's got a little job to do, and then we're going to try to do some family time today. Our plans got changed with the family trip to my hometown, but hopefully I'll get to spend some time with the kids. And it's been that first week back, and being a student and a coach and a teacher and getting all those days together, and then trying to have your normal
probably
stuff.
Need a nap, don't you?
I found myself. I took a nap last week. I feel a lot better this morning, actually. But I found myself feeling thirsty last night.
Yeah.
Coach Henley's back helping me out. Actually, Coach Henley, they were helping us coach this week. JV game, we had him up on the headsets. It was fun listening to him. But the other thing is, I spent time on Wednesday and Thursday on the field painting during my planning period, and those couple extra hours out in the sun, it makes a difference. So I know it's supposed to be, again, hot, really hot on Monday, and we'll get ready for these next couple games. But appreciate you guys, and hopefully I'll get a call. I can't get a call. That's why I'm showing up. So I'll just, if I have to do it each week, but at some point during my fall, I'm going to be on the road to see the Mountaineers play. And, hey, the Mountaineers play on Thursday night, so I hope they play well against East Carolina.
Just text me you're about to call, and I'll let JP know that
we'll do
it. The light is blinking in there.
That way,
we're blaming the phone company right now.
That way Hunter can get his seat. What's going on with Hunter? We're going to have to get on Hunter.
He is our estranged employee, Coach Pruitt. He is estranged.
Yeah.
Appreciate
you guys. Just disappear nowadays.
All right. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right. Coach Tim Pruitt, Trevor Lyman.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks for coming by.
Let's give the scores, Terry, as we wrap it up this morning here on Saturday Morning Sports Talk's high school football coverage.
All righty. It was Hickory Grove 49, Highland Tech 0. West Lincoln 27, Cherryville 7, Thomas Jefferson 23, Pine Lake Prep 8, South Point 35, East Gaston 7, Burns 21, Crest 20. Great game for Tom and them to do last night. Shelby over AC Reynolds 15-12. Stuart Kramer 38, Bessemer City 6. It was Bandy's 49, Fred Ford 3, Freedom 13, East Burke 12. It was Bunker Hill going to 2-0 with a 42-0 win over St. Stephen's. It was North Lincoln 28, Lincoln 18, Salisbury 44, Polk County 0. Chase 2-0 on the year with a 56-6 win over Black Mountain Owen. Hendersonville 58, West Henderson 0. It was Alexander Central 41, North Gaston 6. Kings Mountain goes to 1-1 on the year with a 14-0 win over Asheville. Maiden 2-0 on the year with a 47-0 win over Watauga, and they are number 1 in our poll here. It was Lake Norman 15, Mitchell 12. It was Statesville 27, South Iredell 14, and Brevard 16, Robbinsville 15.
All right, guys, when we come back, we're going to talk college football, the Alliance, and more on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Okay, class, listen up. Do not buy a car without a warranty. Just don't do it. At Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City, we have lifetime warranty on new and used cars. That's right, lifetime warranty on new and used cars. Unlimited time, unlimited miles. And through the end of this month, we're offering up to $4,000 over Kelley Blue Book value on your trade. So one more time, Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram has lifetime warranty on new and used cars, and you'll find us in Forest City.
Now open, the all-new BMC Toner Solutions at 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. The new BMC Toner Solutions can save you up to 50% off retail on your printer ink cartridges. Extra large inkjets just $14.99 for black and $16.99 for color. Just call 704-862-7333. They're open from 9 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 9 to 2 on Friday, and open every third Saturday from 9 to 2. The new BMC Toner Solutions, now open at 410 East Franklin Boulevard, Gastonia. Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. for our Sunday morning worship services. On WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM, it's the Sunday morning service of First Baptist Church in Cherryville. On WLON 1050 AM and 107.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Covenant Bible Church in Lincoln. And on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Calvary Baptist Church of Shelby. Join us each and every Sunday morning for our Sunday morning worship services on The Boss and Carolina Country.
Looking for a boat, RV, or farm equipment this summer? Carolina Federal can help with financing. Recreation loans are available for as low as 3.75% APR. Contact us today for more information by calling 704-435-0186 or online at carolinafcu.org or stop by our branch located at 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville. At Carolina Federal Credit Union, we treat you like family because you are. Rates based on credit history.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on this farm he had some chicks, E-I-E-I-O, with a tick here and a tick there, here a tick, there a tick, everywhere a tick, old MacDonald.
If old MacDonald had a farm today, he'd have a Coyote tractor on it for sure. Test drive one at your local Coyote dealer.
Your Coyote dealer is Weston Sales, Highway 18 North, Highway 27 intersection west in Vale. Join Milton Baker for the Weston Sales Swap Shop, Monday through Friday on Carolina Country, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. Kevin and Tom are talking, and Terry is eating. And apparently the guys don't realize that we came back from break. Guys, we're on the air.
You're on the air.
Well, we're back. I'm on the air. We're back. Friendship, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge.
You were on the air.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
Friendship, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, bringing you Saturday morning sports talk. They're located at 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina. Call them at 828-919-3001. And Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. Go see our friends at Friendship.
All right.
Go ahead,
So,
Kevin.
as of right now, Tom, we have maybe college football changes and new alliances and things like that. Pac-12 says they're standing pat at 12. Big 12, nothing imminent, but they looks like they're going to add 4 teams to keep up the 12, so they keep up and they have their schedule. So it looks like then the ACC, the Big 10, right? And who's the other one?
Pac-12.
But Pac-12 is going to stand pat. So the Big 10, and which has 12 or 13. How many teams is in the Big 10?
I want to say it's 14.
14 teams in the Big 10. Yeah. And the ACC are talking alliance, Tom. And the good news about that is I won't never have to hear you and Terry argue again about conference affiliations.
Yeah, it's you know what? I haven't even been doing the best job of keeping up with it because I've been doing so much high school sports here lately. But I'll tell you what, Oklahoma and Texas really just rocked the whole world, didn't they? when they were going to go to the SEC, and now you got all this stuff going on. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward with all these conferences. But it just comes down to money in the end, doesn't it, Terry? I mean,
it does.
It comes down to money in the end.
I just hope, I'm glad y'all joined the ACC, Tom. That's how I'll put it.
Super confident. I do need to study up on it a little bit more, but I guess they're just trying to make sure that one conference doesn't dominate everything, Terry. I mean, it's just they're doing what they have to do.
When you do this, is it now that we'll only schedule y'all and will not schedule any SEC teams?
I guess that's what it is.
Yep.
I mean,
I guess that's what it is.
Exactly what it is. Now the question is,
does it hurt you or does it not? Is going to be the question.
Well, here's my question is if they're going to split like this, are they still going to have an agreement with this BCS stuff and how many teams are getting in? Or is that going to have to be changed or renegotiated? Because is the winner of the SEC going to claim themselves the national champion? Or is the Big Ten ACC going to claim themselves the national champion? Remember how we used to have split champions in college football?
Oh, yeah.
So unless they come to agreement, that's the road you're headed down, is it not?
Well, and another thing I question, too, is when you have all these bowl games, some bowl games are affiliated with how you finish in each conference.
Yeah, all that's going to have to change.
Yeah, every bit of that will have to change now because I know the ACC's matched up against the SEC in so many bowl games. And
and they got to redo all that. Yeah, and the Big Ten, too. The Outback Bowl, for one, is SEC versus Big Ten. So there's going to have to be a lot of stuff done to make this work, but as I said, all this started with Texas and Oklahoma jumping ship, going to the SEC, and it's all about money. I mean, how much money they paid to the Big 12 just to get out of that conference?
Look at this.
Oh, there's Andre.
Here you go.
They didn't have kids. They got balls.
So Andre actually paid up. And look at Andre and I are matching today. Look at this.
Bucks fans, y'all Bucks fans.
Yeah, I say we're matching. We're matching today.
Y'all got gypped by the guy down the street.
Hey, no.
Terry saw one guy going one way, a Bucks shirt, the other guy coming the other way.
It was on Fanatics, right? You got it on Fanatics? Yeah, we got it on Fanatics. They were on sale, Fanatics.
Come here, Andre. I gotta get this. Come stand in front of this Clemson thing real quick. We got to get you both on camera on this.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we need a picture for the website there, right there.
Tom, and Andre.
Hey, we got the same email, didn't we, Andre? We got the same. Andre and I got the same email.
Oh my God!
It's a good deal on these shirts, though.
Y'all are suckers for clickbait, huh?
Oh man, we did. That's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
Lordy.
Well, now that the ladies are fed this morning, Terry, when they got their deals, I don't know where to go now. I don't know where to go. These fools, the same T-shirts, different teams. Well,
that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, Terry, as far as the combinations of these two teams, these conferences go, it's going to make a pretty good basketball conference. But as far as, teams like the NC States and especially like Duke's. How is that going to,
I don't know. I'm gonna mention something I saw the other
just
day.
add teams in these. Remember real quick before we go. We talked last week, and none of these teams have won an ACC championship since 1980.
Yeah.
And now we're adding more teams to keep them from winning championships. So, what's the incentive of State and Carolina to be in this conference?
Well, I'm gonna put it like this. And that's how I'm gonna start, because this past week, I think it was Monday, I saw a graphic and it had Mac Brown, and it says how he has changed North Carolina. And I said to myself, and I sent it out to all my Carolina fans, I was like, what has he changed? He's never won a national title at Carolina.
Never won you mean ACC?
Yeah,
never won an ACC
well, that's
title.
what I'm saying, but he's never won a national title at Carolina. He won one at Texas, but I was like, what has he done here? And, until you win it, and then some people say, well, what's the highest ranking that you've ever had? And when you go back and look, Duke's always been ranked higher than a State or Carolina. And then I had Carolina people going, yeah, but we were ranked number 2. And I said, yep. And I remember that, because then you had to go to Florida State, and Florida State fumbled y'all at the start of the game. But then you come back and you lost a close game, but you lost, and you were ranked number 2 against a Florida State team that ain't won but one game all year, probably. I said, so, what have you done? And it kind of got me, because I'm like, Mac Brown is good. I'm not going to take nothing away from him, and how he coaches and how the recruitment, that's a lot that you got to have, but you still got to finish. He was lucky he had Vince Young at Texas, because he was the guy that led. So now he's got Hal. Hal is a good guy. Hal cannot run, I don't think, like Young can. So I wonder if that's a big dimension. Now, he says Hal is the best passer that he's ever seen. And hey, maybe so. I'm not sitting there watching this kid throw every pass, and he is. But I don't know. When you think of it, and you think of State, and you think of Carolina, they're going to have to go unbeaten. There's no way either one of them can have a loss, because if you do, then Clemson and everybody else that's ranked highly are going to jump over you, and then they can lose a game and probably fall to 4th, where if they continue to win, then they're going to be number 1 in ACC. But it bothers me on situations like that. Maybe with the combined conferences now, maybe, Tom, it might be better for North Carolina State, North Carolina, if they only lose one game throughout a year. Maybe being in this pack thing that they're going to be in with Ohio State, who brings a lot to the table, and that's going to help the ACC in football. Maybe that might end up helping them if you maybe could knock off Ohio State. Ohio State might not fall far, but it could help you in the long run of making your program better.
Yeah, you got to get those signature wins. So, if you think about it, if an NC State plays an Ohio State and they lose, you might say, well, that's what we thought was going to happen. But if they win, that puts them, that's going to bump them way up. So they have a lot to gain by that schedule. So I think it's going to, be good, give some challenging matchups, because if you're one of those teams that people don't believe in, like you said, like a State or you're pretty good, but we're not going to put you up there with Clemson. Then you go knock off, you get a chance to play somebody good, and you knock them off, and then the ball game changes, Terry.
Yeah, and I think the State if I State against Ohio State, they've played each other twice.
Yeah,
both games have been good games.
I was at the one in Raleigh.
Yeah, so
that was a defensive battle. I think a bunch of field goals. Nugent kicked about 5 field goals and beat them. The year before, T.A. McClendon stopped on the 1-yard line, I think, and State almost went up there to Columbus and beat them. Now, that was in Tressel's early days, but still, that was a very good State team with McClendon and Rivers. And they had some players on that team. That's back when old Amato was still coaching them. I think it was a long time ago. But, yeah, you got to get those signature wins, and you can't get them by not playing the teams that you need to be playing. So this could be a good thing. This could work out for everyone.
So ACC currently has 14 teams, and the Big Ten has 14 teams.
Well, yeah, this year. Last year we had 15 teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So either way,
with Notre Dame,
surely Notre Dame's not going to be an independent and would have to join this.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a big group. I look at both sides of that. And I said, if you're the Fighting Irish and you do not join, I think it benefits you also. Because how many people are going to say, okay, the Fighting Irish, they're 10-1 on the year, they shouldn't belong? No, they're not. They're going to put them right into it.
I think
no matter what.
Like North Carolina and NC State would be better off being independent. NC State, definitely. Or Duke.
Yeah, but I don't think they'd take our wins unless we're playing stout opponents for anything.
Right, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to just schedule the opponents and just play. That's what all Notre Dame does. They don't play Notre Dame don't play Western Carolina like Alabama does.
No.
I mean, they don't.
I mean, they play Navy and they play,
right. But Navy's not Western Carolina.
No, that's true. I agree with that 100%.
I mean, that's who Alabama has on the schedule sometimes. I mean, Apple won't even play Western, Terry. We won't even stoop that low.
Yeah.
We're done with that.
There's a lot of people wanting y'all to play them again.
Once we beat Michigan, Western College, we said wrong number.
They're still talking about a game. From,
we're not giving y'all money to come here.
Number.
When was that? 2005, and they're still talking about that game.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, 28 teams. Let's make Notre Dame 29. Are they going to get to 32? Is where that's going to end up. The Big 12's talking adding 4 teams. Applet doesn't mention them. It was Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, and BYU are the 4 teams being mentioned in the Big 12. So, thoughts on the Big 12 there? Pac-12 staying pat. Why wouldn't maybe they align and do their thing just cover the whole West Coast? Heck, it'd be about everything west of the Mississippi. Almost.
BYU would make more sense in the Pac-12, would it not? I mean, Utah's already.
Well, it looks
they're not adding.
Yeah.
That's what you got. You got to do what you got to do.
But now, where does that leave? See, here's the problem. Where does that leave all the other teams? Unaccounted for. Yeah. That's all it is. You're unaccounted for. I mean, unless you're going to go perfect every year, but then you're going to go perfect against none of these Big 5 conferences. You're going to go perfect, and nobody's going to give you a chance. They're going to be like, well, you didn't play nobody. Yeah. That's exactly how it's going to come around.
You're going to get Coastal Carolina, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If the Big Ten and ACC join that'd be 28 teams. The SEC sitting at 14. What's the magic number? My magic number, what I would think, Terry, and see if you agree with this, I'm going to base this on what you said last week about how you'd like the schedule set up. 24 teams in a conference. Because then you have 12 on each side. You play all 11 on your side of the bracket. You play the winner on the other side. I'm not saying that's my magical number. I'm saying the way the math works, where I think they'll end up with, if they do 22, you can play one non-conference game, which for some reason everybody wants to play non-conferences instead. Well, let's have, like the NFL. If once you get to 28 teams, the NFL's got 32.
Yeah.
Like, why are you playing outside that conference at all? And you only got to play 10 or 11 games. So, will the SEC add more? So, is the ACC joining with the Big Ten a precursor to keeping the SEC from poaching Clemson or poaching maybe North Carolina or some of these other ones?
Well, when I sit back and I think about it, I look at it like this. If you have 24, that's 11, plus a championship game makes 12. Then if you're with 8 teams, that's another 3 games. So all of a sudden you're at 15 games for college athletes to play.
2 teams.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Only 2 teams that have to play 15.
Well, I'm still saying, so that's still 15 games. Then there's a
lot of games.
Yeah.
Well, they're already doing it.
But I think it might be a lot different now since players can make money.
Yeah, if they're image and likeness anyway.
Yeah. I mean, so, if you're going to do that, then maybe they should play more games. I mean, I don't know how to look at that to a way. I would say, I don't know whether 24 teams in a conference is.
Well, you got 28 now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's not saying 41 teams in a conference. It's just you still got your conferences, but you're going to give preference.
These other ones.
Yeah, we're going to make sure that Ohio State plays a Duke in basketball. Yeah. Make sure that they get some
about like the ACC Big Ten Challenge in
something
in
like
basketball.
That. Yes. In other words, we're going to have, and that's what I thought about that years ago.
But how do you determine that, Tom?
Who's going to play who? You mean?
Yeah.
You see, that might be taken away from them a little bit because
you're not making up now, Terry, out of conference.
Well, you're not just rotating. I would say just rotating.
I mean, you're not going to put Ohio State saying, "Okay, y'all go play Duke." You know what I'm saying?
If you're in the conference, you're in the conference.
Well, I mean, eventually, yeah, but I mean,
You would just rotate who you played, right?
Yeah, and it should be your top team. And see, you can't even go by that because I would say your top teams from last year play the top teams from last year. But if I've got Burrow and he's left, then my LSU team is not the same team. So that's not a way to figure it out.
Typically, some teams are traditionally stronger than others. So, I mean, I think that could work. That if you said, all right, well, you were the conference champion last year, and in week 1 or week 2, you're going to play the conference champion from the ACC. I mean, that would be some really fun early season matchups. And that one loss, but, they worry about too much. I mean, maybe that, like you said earlier, that's not going to hurt you as bad. Like, if Clemson wins the ACC and Ohio State wins the Big Ten, then you guys play in week 1 or 2 next year. I mean, how bad's that loss really? How bad should it hurt you? I mean, if you're playing somebody really good, as Kevin says, how much really do you give credit to a win over Western Carolina?
Yeah,
no disrespect to them.
And Tom, now that you say something like that, it kind of makes me wonder if North Carolina State would go to Ohio State and beat them. Yeah, that's a gigantic plus. If you lose to them and then you win the rest of your game, is that a bonus?
Like I say, it's you stepped up and played somebody. I think that's what the best thing about this is. And some of those early season matchups, like Kevin talks about, I mean, I remember they were making fun of a highlight about Trevor Lawrence. I can't remember. I think it was either against Wofford or the Citadel. I mean, he's like, you're showing a highlight of Trevor Lawrence against the Citadel.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so funny because I was like, as soon as I watched that, I said, that is so Kevin Hastings right there. I said, I can hear him saying that. It's like, we're gonna break down the Citadel film.
At the end of the game, I promise you, the Citadel won the push-up contest.
Yeah.
So they didn't win. Trevor Lawrence didn't win every matchup that day. Well, Terry, I'm glad Maryland's back in the ACC.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
There you
Welcome
go.
back, boys. Y'all can't get away.
Yep. Welcome back. Where they really should be. Maryland should be in there.
Maryland won the ACC championship in 2001 in football. So that was their
That's
last
probably when
one.
old Region was coaching them still. Old Ralph Region, wasn't he coaching them back then?
I think so.
That was back when he was coaching them.
Duke got a piece of the '89 ACC champion.
That's when they had Spurrier, David
but
Brown.
Virginia was awarded the ACC championship. They're the ones that went to the Citrus Bowl in that split. Again, let's go back all the way to 1980, North Carolina ACC championship. 1979. NC State ACC championship. Maryland won in 85, 84, and 83. 3 straight.
Did Lou Holtz win the ACC championship when he was at State?
Who?
Lou Holtz when he was at State?
Yeah, early 70s. Yeah.
Early, mid-70s, he was at NC State.
NC State won in 73.
That might have been
that
Holtz.
probably
Yeah,
was Lou
that
Holtz.
might have
In
been
79.
Holtz. Yeah, might have been Holtz.
South Carolina left in 71 or 72 there. North Carolina won 71, 72, State 73, Maryland 3 straight. North
Is that
Carolina,
not bad that I
Clemson.
can remember that?
Georgia
When South Carolina was part of the ACC.
Hey!
and Georgia Tech used to be part of the SEC.
Yeah.
So,
Rambling Wreck from Georgia
back
Tech.
far
They
enough.
actually won the national championship in 1990. The USA
remember.
Today coaches poll.
I want to say it was a split.
It was.
Can't remember who they split it with, but I remember when that
And see, I
happened.
was one of them people that back then, and I know I was young, 8, 9 years old, but I was like, that was a cardinal sin for South Carolina to be taken away from the ACC.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It makes more sense for them to be in the ACC and to play all the North Carolina schools and to play Clemson.
Yeah.
It makes more sense for them.
Wake Forest is the only North Carolina school since the calendar turned to 1990 that's won an ACC title.
That's amazing.
The only North Carolina school in 3 decades to win an ACC title.
So
with the
Wake Forest won the ACC after Florida State had joined?
Yes, the year after Florida State.
That's amazing.
It was
right there.
Florida State won. They were the first team to win. No, Maryland won. I was about to say they were one. Here's how it went after Florida State. 92, Florida State. 93, 94, 95, they split with Virginia.
they won a
96,
lot.
97, 98, split with Georgia Tech. 99, 2000. 2001 was Maryland. 2002, Florida State. 2003, Florida State. 2004, Virginia Tech. 2005, Florida State. Then Wake Forest. Then the reign of Virginia Tech started for 3 years. It was a vacated title. Georgia Tech defeated Atlantic Division champion in the championship game, but vacated its win So Georgia Tech in 2009. So the only North Carolina school to win an ACC championship in 30 years is the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. So
you talk about Florida State, just want to say Bobby Bowden passed away.
Yeah.
I think it was 91 years
now,
old.
Terry, that's if you give Duke credit for that championship, 30 years, right? If you don't give Duke credit, it's 40 years. It's no North Carolina school, Tom, has won an ACC championship but Wake Forest in my lifetime.
Yep.
1980 was the last time a North Carolina school, and that was the Tar Heels, won an ACC championship.
You weren't alive in 1980?
Nope, 82.
Man, I was alive in 1980, Terry.
I was graduating high school.
Were you?
Yep.
Well, he was. He was celebrating the Tar Heels ACC victory.
Yeah.
ACC championship victory. That's what exactly what he was doing.
was.
Now, Terry, we talked Mac Brown a little while ago. I pulled up his number. Let's be realistic about it. His last 4 years at Texas, you know how many games he lost? 21 games in 4 years. 5-7, 8-5, 9-4, 8-5 in Texas. You talk about Sam Howell's his best passer he's ever seen, Terry. Sam Howell, they got 10 losses in 2 years. 10 losses, Tom. How many losses Ohio State? How many years do I have to count before I get 10 losses with Ohio State?
You got to go back about 6 or 7 years.
Well, now, wait a minute. I mean, when I think of college, Trubinsky, as many games he lost there, was number one.
Number two.
Well, I'm talking about, though, to everybody in America, he was the number one quarterback coming out. He was the man.
And they're going to make the same mistake again, putting a Tar Heel.
So
I say this when we do this during the draft. Don't draft a Tar Heel quarterback. Don't draft a Dookie. Don't draft Ohio State. Other guys you're pretty safe with. Those three, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Just don't do it. It just doesn't work. Terry, he's 15-10 at Carolina.
There you go.
And we're talking about
he's the best
he's
passer
23-2 or 23-5 or something. It's 15.
And don't get me wrong, when you're watching him, and especially when he played state,
lost in the bowl game
ate
last
us
year.
alive.
Lost the Orange Bowl last year.
But he had a bunch of players not play. It's misleading.
Haven't finished better than third in the conference, and in this stint. Now back at Texas, I told you his last 4 years. Now let's go back to North Carolina's North Carolina years. He started 1-10, 1-10, 6-4, 7-4.
He got better.
How many coaches though, Terry, after 4 years are 15 and 28 and get to coach a fifth year?
Yeah,
he got a
none.
fifth year, and they went 9-3, won the Peach Bowl, 19-18. Went 10-3, won the Gator Bowl, 21-19. I don't got no scores for the other two. They lost the Sun Bowl, lost the Gator Bowl, won the CarQuest Bowl, won the Gator. So
he's just one of them coaches that's got to get them over the hump. If they would have beat Florida State, Carolina would have still been ranked second. They'd have been top of the world. But when you lose to Florida State, I mean,
you talking about last year or the year before? 96.
Yeah, 96.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I'm just saying, you got to keep your squad at the top. And Carolina seems to lose. And then when they lost last year to Appalachian, to me, that was like somebody stabbing them in the back. But Appalachian knew, and Appalachian has defeated top teams. They knew they could go there and win. I don't think Appalachian goes anywhere that they don't think they can win. I don't care where they're going, whether they play Alabama, whether they play Michigan, whether they play Carolina, whether they play whoever.
Oh, we got delusions of grandeur.
I mean, no, I'm just saying.
We're not scared.
I don't think, that's it. There you go. They're not scared to go play you anywhere. They don't go to a game saying, okay, we got all this money that's going to help us in our program. They don't look at it like that. Hey, we have an opportunity here.
Coach, okay, that's where they finished in the poll. Okay, so these are poll finishes. I was trying to figure out where the poll finishes were. All right, Mac Brown's poll finishes of Carolina, obviously, first 4 years didn't get ranked. 18th, 21st, 21st, not ranked. 10th and 6th. So he finished 6th in his last year. All right, this time, unranked, 17th. All right, Terry, here's the bowls. Won the Peach, lost the Gator, lost the Sun. Won the CarQuest, won the Gator. Didn't coach in the other Gator Bowl. So that's when he left. So he's 3-2 at Carolina in bowls in 10 seasons. Okay? Then he comes back. He's 1-1 now in bowls. So now he's 4-3 in bowl games in 12 seasons. And again, we're talking about how magical this is about to be and good. Now, I think a lot of the things based everything on recruiting and stuff now, Terry. But again, you got to coach them to win.
Yes.
You get on the field, and I was in the stadium about 20th row, watching Warwick Dunn run all over them, watching Peter Boulware run right around the end, watching Bobby Bowden win how many ACC championships. Yeah. So I've seen it. You've seen it. You need to probably be careful with that on the Mac Brown Carolina stuff. Tom, any other thoughts on the college football stuff?
No, I'm just ready for it to get started. Yeah. I mean, it's been all this preseason. It's kind of like pro ball. I'm ready to see the games. I mean, it's like this. It's like this preseason never ends. As soon as this, the last season ends, national championship, Super Bowl, we just talk. Who's moving where? Who's doing what?
I tell you what. You know what we can do? Don't we got some picks? Ain't there some games? This week?
I think we do have some picks.
I know there's one big game Thursday.
Appalachian
game in the state, yeah.
Appalachian
in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah, well, who are they playing?
All right, let's do these quick picks. How about this before? Yeah, we got 3 days worth. We got a bunch of picks actually. Hey, let's do. We're gonna start bad picks real quick. We'll have Terry and Tom. Let's get it over with. All right, here we go. Let's run through these. It's football Saturday. I got you. Were you gonna talk about the Guardians?
No.
No. Okay.
No. They're win one, lose one Guardians. Yeah. Win one, lose one Guardians.
Starts today. Nebraska at Illinois.
I think Illinois on the rise, and Nebraska's got issues. They're trying to run Scott Frost out of town. Talking about buying out his contract. I like Illinois at home.
Illinois. I'm gonna go Nebraska.
Bad pick.
Okay.
That's the first game.
Okay.
Right, UConn at Fresno State for $19 at Bulldog Stadium. UConn.
Fresno State.
Yeah, I like Fresno State at home.
Hawaii at UCLA.
Oh, forget that. UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA. I like that.
UTEP, Texas El Paso at New Mexico State.
Have fun picking this one. Let's go New Mexico State. They're at home.
I'm going to do the same. I'm going to stay with the home team.
Let's stay with the home team. When you have no clue.
Want to break down the UTEP. I don't even know what are they. Does anybody know what UTEP's mascot is?
The little minor thing. It looks kind of like UNC Charlotte. I think that's what it is, isn't it?
I'm not jumping out there with you on that, Tom. I do not know.
I'm almost positive. Okay. I'm going to look it up.
I'm going to click on the logo. The Miners.
Yeah,
look at that. I even got the name right.
There you go.
Yeah,
the Miner thing.
Yeah, it's the Miners. The little thing there. I don't know what they're mining out there.
Now, let's back this up real quick. You're a graduate of UNC Charlotte, right?
Correct.
That's your mascot, right?
Correct.
So you consider yourself an educated man? You teach education?
I teach education.
You don't know what the thing is the miner holds in his hand? At no point was y'all brought that taught?
A pick.
At UNC Charlotte School there? Okay.
It's a pick.
Yeah, pickaxe.
I mean,
you called it the little miner thingy.
Well, I had... Kevin, do you realize I walked into Burns High School at 20-7, and I left Burns High School at 10:20 last night, and I am still at work today. Give my brain a break,
gotcha.
Please.
Okay. Southern Utah. Hey, I gave you nailed the nickname though.
Yeah,
I did.
He did good.
Southern
little thing,
Southern Utah at San Jose State.
Are you kidding me?
You want me to pick?
Yeah,
San Jose State.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Do you want
Southern Utah. Let's break down the last 5 years of Southern Utah film here before we make this pick.
Alabama Birmingham at Jacksonville State.
UAB.
Is that Dion's team? Is that Jacksonville State? Is that where he's at?
It could be, and that's who I'm going with, Jacksonville State.
All right, Temple. This is Thursday night. That was Wednesday. Thursday night football. The Temple Owls at the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in Piscataway, New Jersey.
Piscataway.
Yeah, that's a dumb one.
Piscataway.
Yeah. Let anyone from New Jersey come down here and pronounce the word strap or stroop. Or Cherryville, for that matter.
All right.
Who y'all got?
Next. Oh,
we
who?
said Rutgers.
The Citadel. Do they out-push up the Fighting Chickens of Myrtle Beach?
No, Coastal Carolina.
I'm going Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach. They're going to get a win.
Yeah.
Long Island University at Florida International.
Lord, we picking some of these.
Go to Florida team.
Yeah, I'm going to take Florida, too.
Boise State at UCF.
UCF.
Cross-country flight.
I like Boise.
Western Illinois at Ball State.
Ball State.
Yeah, sure. Ball State.
Wagner at Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Isn't that a composer? Go with Buffalo.
It's Wagner. Yeah, it might be.
Wagner,
yeah. Weber State at Utah. Utah's number 24.
Yeah, go with Utah.
Another matchup nobody cares about. South Florida at NC State.
North Carolina State. We got first
South
place votes.
USF?
Yeah, USF.
Yeah, we got first place votes, Tom.
Let's go with first place in the ACC or overall.
ACC.
Yeah, they got over Clemson. Somebody voted for them.
I'm going to go with NC State.
Okay.
I think Terry somehow ended up with a pick.
The Fighting Chuckamatos.
The
Fighting Chuckamatos will get a win.
The Chestamatos.
All
right. UC Davis at Tulsa.
Yeah, Tulsa.
The
Tom,
Buckeyes at the Golden Gophers. Conference play.
Yeah, they got some,
started off.
They got some
What,
question
Gophers
marks
pretty decent
too.
last year?
Gophers are usually pretty decent. They don't have Bateman anymore. He's moved on to the Baltimore Ravens, but I like Ohio State to go up there and
I'll
beat them.
take Ohio State also.
Bowling Green at Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee, they started to get it together a little bit at the end of last year. They're more competitive than they have been.
Tom, do you have any answer why Bowling Green's not green?
I do not.
Drives me crazy.
I do not.
That's the who is it?
The Blue
Lexington
Bowl.
Yellow Jackets are
I do.
orange.
My brother's got a good friend who graduated from Bowling Green, but I have no answer.
Tennessee Martin at Western Kentucky.
I'm going to take Western Kentucky. How come I'm picking first all the time, Tom?
I don't know because I have no idea. I
Okay.
guess I'm going with Western Kentucky. They've had some good teams.
All right, big matchup here in Albuquerque. New Mexico hosting Houston Baptist.
Forget it. New Mexico.
Well, we know there won't be any dancing.
Houston Baptist is good in baseball.
If Houston
But I don't
Baptist,
know whether they're good in
if
football.
Houston Baptist wins, we know they won't be dancing
That's
victory.
it.
So let's go with who they play. Houston
New
Baptist
Mexico.
and New Mexico.
New Mexico.
The Lobos.
Yes, the Lobos.
Me gusta los
Yeah.
Lobos.
Eastern Washington at UNLV, running Rebels.
There you go, Tom. Pick one.
Let's go with the Rebels.
I'm going Eastern Washington.
Had to think of Eastern. Which state was it?
Yeah, Terry, don't bet against the running Rebels. in
Yeah, I know.
Vegas. Southern Utah at Arizona State, the Sun Devils.
Haven't
number
we already
25.
picked Southern Utah? Haven't we already picked Southern Utah once?
No.
Pick somebody.
Yeah,
to
you
sign.
actually did. They're playing today, and
There
this
you
is
go.
this is next. This is Thursday.
We get to pick him twice.
Did we pick him the first time?
No.
Y'all picked
Who are they playing?
San Jose State the first time. This time they're playing Arizona State.
So they get beat
They
again.
get beat again.
They are going 0 for 2.
They're 0 for
they
2 in
0
4
and 2.
On
days.
Southern Utah. I'm sorry, Southern Utah
man.
fans.
What do we know about Utah? Nothing besides
Nothing.
they're going to get beat.
It's in the southern part of Utah.
It's in the southern part of Utah.
Yeah. All right. Appalachia State host the Pirates in Boone on ESPNU 7:30.
There it is. Opportunity.
$51 tickets in Boone. Terry.
You want me to pick it?
Actually, it's not in Boone. It's at Bank of America Stadium.
Yeah, it's in Charlotte. Yeah.
They're too
Appalachia.
scared. Why can't we? Miami will come to Appalachian.
But now I'm
and we
scared of
can't
that.
get East Carolina, North Carolina, NC State, Wake Forest comes up there. But we can't get none of the other.
Nobody
the other
wants
schools.
to. Nobody wants to drive.
You
up
got to
there,
be careful
Kevin.
in
Chickens.
Charlotte, though, because last time East Carolina was down there, they beat us, North Carolina State, like a drum.
I like
I tell you
Appalachian
what.
State. East Carolina's been struggling.
Between East Carolina and Appalachian State and Charlotte, might be some partying going on
There may be a beer or two
Thursday night.
consumed. Yeah.
So, folks, if you're looking to stay safe,
Just
on
wear
Thursday
your
night,
mask.
stay out of Charlotte.
Yeah, Watauga, don't expect anybody to show up for
Terry.
work Friday morning.
For the things that go down at ECU, the last thing they're wearing is a face mask.
They come to Charlotte, they better
You
have one.
forget that. All right, Friday night, Tar Heels Terry, are they going to start their national championship run in Blacksburg with a win over Dax Hollyfield and Jack Hollyfield?
It's going to be tough.
No.
Are you saying the Tar Heels are going to start off 0-1?
I got a feeling.
The Hokies. Tom.
Carolina.
Terry,
pick,
Terry calls the annual Mac Brown
Terry again,
choke game in week
Terry.
one.
Terry again goes with his heart instead of his head.
Well, Tom, they're 15-10 with Brown under the helm.
They're going to win this game.
Duke at Charlotte.
Ooh. Tom,
Charlotte.
that's your pick.
Charlotte.
Okay.
Charlotte.
Okay, I'll go Duke.
Are you guys going to rename the stadium?
Because it's Richardson Stadium, so got to rename it. Let's name it Senafani Stadium.
There you go.
That's a good name.
Old Dominion at Wake Forest spelling contest at Truist Field this week. Hey, in fact, for this contest, Tom, $7 a ticket.
$7.
Just the same price in a high school football game.
You can't see a movie for $7.
As Old Dominion at Wake Forest.
You can't
football.
see the
now, Terry,
Old
remember, this is the only team in North Carolina in the last 40 years to win an ACC championship.
And I'm going to take Wake Forest.
No, sorry, 37 years.
Wake Forest.
No, 41 years.
Do you have the betting lines beside these?
No, I don't have the betting lines on that. Maybe I could.
All right.
That would be useful.
That would be useful?
That would be useful to have the betting lines.
So what are you picking? Who'd you pick?
I picked Wake Forest.
St. Francis, Pennsylvania at Eastern Michigan.
Come on, Eastern Michigan.
Eastern Michigan.
Well, y'all said
St. Francis will be a martyr.
Tom, I'm going to find you a betting line here. Who's you want that betting line on?
Southern Utah games. That's what I want to know.
That's the ones you
What's
wanted?
the line
They
on the
probably
Southern
don't even
Utah?
have it.
They probably don't have a line.
Yeah.
No line on Southern
That's what I'm
Utah.
saying.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
The Southern Utah game, the first one, San Jose State was favored by 24.
We got that right.
That's what I tried to tell you. That's what I was trying to say.
Carolina favored. I got the one with the bet lines now for you.
Okay.
Sorry, I was on the wrong.
Carolina by 7?
5.5.
Yeah.
Duke by 6.5. Wake Forest by 31.5. There is no betting line for St. Francis, Eastern Michigan right now.
I didn't think they would be.
There is no betting line for Southern Utah, Arizona State right now. Some of these games haven't posted, or they're holding, I guess. Ohio State favored by 13.5. App favored by 10.5. So if that makes any of your picks feel any better.
So far, some of my picks look pretty good, Tom.
They do.
South Dakota at Kansas.
What's the line?
There is none.
I'll
tell you if I
let's
got
go.
it.
Doesn't South Dakota have a pretty good team, though?
Surely not. Surely not.
Go ahead and
Kansas.
take them.
Kansas.
Okay, I'm taking Kansas. That's what I say. Go ahead and take them.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Michigan at Northwestern. Spartans. Big Ten starting off hot.
So you got Michigan State. At
Yeah,
Northwestern.
State. Sorry. I'm looking right at it and didn't finish the sentence.
I'm going to
Michigan
take
State.
Northwestern.
Northwestern favored by 3.
Yeah,
They're at
I'll
home?
take
At home.
Give me Sparty.
Where did
Sparty's going to go in there and defeat them.
Northwestern wins.
Of course, I love the Northwestern coach,
this thing reset itself?
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
Where did it go?
reframes and goes back.
Where did it go? Where were we? Who was we? What kind of trash?
We got
was
so
it?
many games we don't even know
I
we
right?
picked.
Northern Colorado at regular Colorado.
Regular Colorado.
Yeah, regular.
Buffalo's over either
We
Bears
picked
or Grizzlies
Buffalo.
or something.
Yeah, we picked that one.
All right, Tom. South Dakota State at Colorado State.
Give me the Colorado State.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
The new SEC Oklahoma Sooners at Tulane.
Psh, Oklahoma. Easy.
Big Ten, Penn State at Wisconsin. 19-12. Wisconsin favored by 4.5.
Wisconsin at home. They're tough.
I
at
take
home.
Wisconsin at home.
Kentucky at home favored by 29.5 against UL Monroe.
I think I'll take Kentucky. Yep.
Colgate at Boston College, no line.
Boston College.
Boston College.
Western Michigan at Michigan.
Michigan.
Michigan. Yep.
Holy Cross at UConn.
UConn.
Hold on, is this next Saturday? Yep. No, let's back up.
Oh,
We're on the wrong day.
Lordy.
We went too
Oh,
many.
my
We got
goodness.
4 extras, folks. So you got
Now, we got
specials.
Lisa and change our mind before next week.
You
Tom.
got 5 specials. You got 5 picks extra in for next weekend. So
That
you
was a
guys
ton
go.
of picks.
That was a ton of picks. You guys, glad you guys prepared.
You got to,
I forgot to write down my notes for Jacksonville State UAB. I'm glad you guys were ready for the Southern Utah. All right, JP, quit eating breakfast from Mitchum's Kitchen. Let's take a break. It's been a long, long time since we had a break. We'll be back in a minute. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Lifetime warranty on new and used cars at Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City. And now until the end of the month, Friendship in Forest City will offer up to $4,000 over Kelley Blue Book value on your trade. Guaranteed best prices on new cars, all used cars priced way below book value, and now all new and used cars have a lifetime warranty, unlimited time, and unlimited miles. We're simply not like any other dealer. Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram, we're located in Forest City.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home the Kubota BX 2380 tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on this farm he had some chicks, E-I-E-I-O, with a tick here and a tick there, here a tick, everywhere a tick, old MacDonald.
If old MacDonald had a farm today, he'd have a Coyote tractor on it for sure. Test drive one at your local Coyote dealer.
Your Coyote dealer is Weston Sells, Highway 18 North, Highway 27 intersection west in Vale. If you're in the market for new flooring, go to this area's most recommended flooring store. That's Flooring America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain. Flooring America in Kings Mountain is where friends send friends for their flooring needs. And right now, you'll find the ever-popular luxury vinyl plank for only $2.99 a square foot. That's right, only $2.99 a square foot, all during the Fresh Start Flooring Sale. Give your home a refresh with one stop at Flooring America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain, online at flooringamericakingsmountain.com. Laughlin Furniture has been serving Shelby, Lincoln, and the surrounding areas for over 32 years. They carry a large variety of living room, bedroom, and accent furniture from top brand names like Ashley, Bassett, Jackson, Catnapper, Joe Fred, Troutman Chair Company, Vaughn, Bassett, and more, plus a large selection of top quality mattresses. They offer great products to suit any budget. Laughlin Furniture, home of the real deal.
Real deal.
Call them at 704-484-3204 or stop by 400 North Lafayette Street in Shelby. They'll make you feel at home. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and at LaughlinFurnitureOutlet.com. Home of the real deal.
Real deal. When you're in the field, downtime is not an option. That's why now is the time for a service inspection at James River Equipment. Whether you own a John Deere tractor, planter, forage harvester, or baler, James River has a summer service special that's right for you. When it comes to quick diagnosis and expert service professionals, James River delivers. Schedule your service at your local James River location or online at jamesriverequipment.com. James River delivers.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and Tom. Terry has left us. So, Tom, why don't you mention our friends?
And Tom, Terry's no longer with us. Terry had a automotive emergency, which means he probably needs to get himself down to Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-919-3001, or Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. That's where Terry needs to get down. Now, my old classmate has sent me the Mountain Island Charter score, 28-6.
Hey!
So it's Mountain Island over Cabarrus. I don't know if that's Cabarrus Christian.
Yes.
Okay, Cabarrus Christian Academy. So 28-6. Thank you, Beth, for sending that in to us as her children go there. She lives in that community, and her children go there to Mountain Island Charter. So thank you for sending that score. Man, we're just hunting down scores any way we can, Kevin.
I'm also running out of shots on my camera here to be able to use. We start off of 3, get 4. Now we're down to 2.
Yeah, we're just.
I'm scrambling.
We're dropping like flies. It's a war of attrition.
I need a producer in there to sit up and do something.
Yeah, we get us some more.
He's busy deleting videos from last night.
Well, at least he's doing something. Got to get full value for your money.
Yeah, JP, you're deleting videos on your phone from last night. That sounds very suspicious.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, that was
these
done
days,
when I first
Apple
came
does
in.
keep track of everything in your phone.
Something with videos.
So make sure
very
nothing's
true,
in there
but it's
that
something
you don't want
completely
in there.
Yeah. Welcome to 1984. Do y'all teach that in school anymore? Do they just stop teaching that?
I don't know if they do 1984 anymore.
That should be at this point, Tom. It's become it's become fiction. I want a shirt. Have you seen the shirts that say "Make 1984 fiction again"?
That's cool. I mean,
that'd be. Would you rock that shirt?
Yeah, I would, because they are. I mean, it's pretty scary when I get an alert on my phone.
Australia.
I get an alert on my phone, and it'll say something like, "We got a missing part of your timeline of Saturday morning. Were you at the Cherville Animal Hospital or What's Up Chopper?" I'll get stuff like that.
Oh wow!
And it'll feel like you could go back, and it'll tell me, where I've been, every single where I've been, and it also, I can look back at all the cities I've been to, like for the last 10 years. It's got all this like all over the map wherever I've been. Even if I remember one time it came up, well, you were in Denver, Colorado in 2016. I'm like, no, I wasn't. I've never been to Denver. Then I realized, I said, wait a minute, it was a layover flight. I was flying home from Oregon, and I was in Denver. That's the only time I've ever been to Denver. So it's like, people worry about a vaccine tracing you. No, so you're being tracked already. It's called Google, so they can get all that information. I would say a lot of it is relatively just for a commercial purpose. They're just trying to sell you stuff. I don't think they're really interested in where I go every day. But if they know I go to the Cherville Animal Hospital, then all of a sudden I'll get a bunch of emails about dog treats and dog collars and things like that. So it's like they know I like the Browns. That's why me and Andre are wearing the same shirt today. So yeah, it is a little scary.
Y'all got the same Facebook ad. Is how y'all
It's probably what it was. Probably what it was on Insta Trash or Facebook. I'll give the local scores just one more time. Burns over Crest 21-0. West Lincoln over Cherville 27-7. North Lincoln over Lincolnton 28-18. And Thomas Jefferson over Pine Lake Prep 23-8. Shelby over AC Reynolds 15-12. Kramer over Bessemer 38-6. Some of these we can overlook. Kings Mountain over Asheville 14-0. South Point over East Gaston 35-7. So that's more your local ones. I'm not going to be like Terry. Terry leads off the scores by giving the Hickory Grove Highland Tech score. Why would you do that?
Is that what he started with?
That's what he started with. Hickory Grove and Highland Tech. And Hickory Grove scored 69 on Hunter House. Is that the team? Didn't they score 69 on Hunter House?
Yeah.
I was like, why are we starting with that one?
Man,
that's just Terry.
This was last year's list. We were about to talk NFL, and I was bringing up a list of. I was going to mention some of the local people in North Carolina that's on NFL rosters. I got a different list somewhere.
And it's going to be cut down pretty soon. I think they had to trim to 80, didn't they? And now they got to get down to 53. And one thing I don't understand, I guess somebody could explain it to me. If you've got 53 men on your football team, why can't you just dress all 53?
I don't.
I've never understood that.
It's a salary cap thing. That's how it's run out on that, I think. And
wait a minute. If you're not dressed and playing, you're not getting paid?
Kind of not. I don't know how to explain it. It's a complicated, dumb way, but it's nothing that I can explain and be like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I know how to do it. So it's. I wish they would. They need more players. I think that one of the biggest problems in the NFL is the quarterback play, in a sense that colleges don't prepare college quarterbacks to play in the future because there is no pro ball. If you're in college, you're going to go to the minors no matter what at some point and work on something before they move up. In college, you're straight in the NFL, and if you ain't been throwing the ball, and that's why you see these guys from San Diego State, or North Dakota State, like Carson Wentz and the Romos at Eastern Illinois, that they can actually throw the ball, and they go to a school that's like, okay, we're going to throw the ball. So, and I think a lot of kids, just based on my experience alone, Tom, playing not, and maybe in college too, that the coaches, they're going to coach their offense first of all. Then they're going to put people in to run their offense. They're going to learn another offense for these kids and everything. And so they're stuck. Some of them are stuck to that, to where you got a lot of kids that go by that have good arms that either don't play quarterback or don't even play football at all. Chris, just for example, Mason at Bessemer, way better arm than me. Never played football because he's just always playing baseball. Never played football. Another kid was talking about earlier, fumbling the ball, and we put a freshman in a few times to try to run him some option, and he fumbled about every time, and that's the experience thing, but he's faster. You put him in and let him run. So coaches try to adjust that. And I don't think these college coaches one bit, and the Jalen Hurts having to move to Oklahoma kind of shows you they care about and want to move and want to get these guys playing quarterback in the NFL to where I know, Tom, you remember a day when you could look at most teams and say the backup quarterback wasn't that bad. Jeff Hostetler.
Yeah.
You know, the Cowboys drafted back-to-back number one quarterbacks. They drafted Steve Walsh and Aitman and basically threw a stick in the middle like the Joker and say, winner come out. And these teams are sitting there, like if I ask you, all right, Tom, who's the backup for the Jets? Do you know?
It was McCown, I think.
Do you know the backup for the Panthers?
I thought I saw the guy from West Virginia, Greer, in there, and then they have the other guy. He's not real big. He actually didn't play too bad. I can't remember his name.
And on that note, do you think you could name a single backup quarterback off the top of your head that you think you'd feel confident, Tom, going, you know what? They could still probably, make a good run, maybe even get to a Super Bowl with that backup.
Case Keenum for the Browns.
That's your one.
I mean, you asked me to name
right,
one.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
And I only know that because
confident if he came in.
And I only know that because I watched.
Was that the only one you know?
I watched, but Keenum was a starter before.
Right.
I think who's Glennon with now? He was been kind of bounced around the league.
Is he still in Tampa?
No, I can't remember where he's at. He's somewhere else now. But I think he might be good enough to be serviceable. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just make enough plays to get it done. Haskins is going to be the backup for Pittsburgh. I know that you hate Ohio State quarterbacks, but I think with some polishing, he could step in there and be able to ready to play. Trubisky in Buffalo would be another example. I would say he could. Trubisky's pretty good. I mean, I think he got the bad rap. I think he's better than being a backup, but he might be the best backup in the league.
I saw a guy the other day. He's a Bears fan, and he's one of those fans that were like, the quarterback Trubisky. He said the Trubisky's the best quarterback we've had in 70 years in Chicago.
Yeah,
and just talking about got bringing Fields. No, he said Andy Dalton was the best quarterback the Bears have ever had in 70 years in Chicago. Now Jay Cutler could sling it. I like Dalton, but
McMahon was good. He was just always hurt.
Yeah. He ended up going to Philadelphia, didn't he? Yeah. I don't like how they don't develop the quarterbacks at all. And
the game's different though. But
you're talking about that roster spot. If it was even at 53 and then expanded to 60 total, it would change so much.
I think it would be good for football.
And
I
don't have the money for 5 extra minimum wage.
Those guys got so much money, man. It's pathetic. But I would like to see all, if you got 53 guys on a team, dress them. I mean, I know there's things beyond my knowledge why they don't, but I would like to see that because one other thing, Kevin, is I think it would help the quality of play.
Right.
I mean, I think it would be a better product because you could have a few more guys that you could use during the game. I mean, especially if you're thin somewhere, you got a couple extra guys. You may have a game where you get 2 linebackers get hurt. Well, you had another guy, but he was a healthy scratch. You didn't play him,
right?
And you need him now. Now you're trying to bring a safety up the linebacker.
Bring 100 people to the games.
I know.
I'm not asking for that.
Yeah, I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying somewhere between dressing 50 and 60 players, I think would help the team. Because think about it. You got your kicker. He ain't playing nothing else. You got your punter. He ain't playing nothing else. You got your long snapper. He ain't playing nothing. That's 3 right there that aren't doing anything. You know what I mean? So that's 3 roster spots. You know what? That's about 8% of your roster is 3 guys that aren't going to play any other real position. They're not going to play lineman or wide receiver or anything. So I think that you could really, if you're going to dress, what do they dress? 46, right? They dress 46.
44. 45, I think.
45
It may
or
be
46.
Now, I think they may have added one.
Well, just add 3 more. Let him at least do 49 because your 3 specialists aren't playing anything else. I think it would make it better, but every league has got its rules.
All right, let's check our depth chart, see how the local kids are doing. Now, I got a list here of guys that from the state of North Carolina, Tom, that were on rosters last year, and there's quite a bit. Now, I've got another list that I'll bring in next week if I can find it on my hard drive. But I've got a list somewhere that's got all of our local schools and every guy that's ever made it. But these are some of the kids that were last year fighting for roster spots. Trying to name some of the local ones I'm looking at here because we got our locals ones. Of course, I'm gonna talk about here in just a second. Tarboro, that's you know who.
Yeah.
Forest City, Carlos Watkins went to Clemson last year. He was with the Houston Texans. I don't know where some of these people they may have moved.
I can't remember when Watkins was playing.
Mm-hmm. Rico Dowdle, ask for JP. Answer the phone. Let's see. A couple of other ones: Fayetteville, Kent, Illinois, Lexington, Oakboro, Charlotte, Wake Forest, Soki, Raleigh. I don't, like I said, this isn't the one I wanted to go with. It was just almost, I would say half the league's got one or two kids maybe from North Carolina. Eric Ebron is from Greensboro. But I want to look at some of the depth charts that some of the
local kids that got drafted.
Right. So everybody's asking where's Chasser at right now. He's listed as questionable. And he's the backup weak side linebacker right now on the depth chart for the Minnesota Vikings. Over in Tennessee, Andre said they've got Caleb Farley as a starter on Madden. I didn't ask him about the Surratts on there. I totally forgot. Didn't even think about that. But he said that Caleb Farley is listed as a starter on Madden. But, Tom, I'm looking.
Sage was on down the depth chart for Detroit Lions.
Right. I'm looking at Tennessee's depth chart, and Caleb Farley is nowhere on it. He's 4th corner listed in the depth chart. So I don't know. He's not. It doesn't say injured reserve, out, or anything. So I don't know if he's still having minor issues with all of his because he was a back surgery. And,
that was the big question mark with him.
So just last weekend when we looked at this, he was the backup right corner, and now he's at 4th string left corner, based on the depth chart. So
he might play. You would think that guy's going to play some slot corner.
He may end up on a PUP list.
Yeah.
Or
if he is healthy and just not playing well, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Put him at slot corner or something like that. Don't put him out wide until he's completely healthy. Maybe he can help you there. But like I said last week, why are you going to draft a guy number 1? If I draft a guy number 1, he's got to be a starter. I mean, he's got to be a starter. He's got to be somewhere.
Sage is anywhere between 7 and 9. If you count it that way on the depth chart.
Most teams going to keep 6, aren't they?
Well,
wide receivers.
If Detroit's listing 3 wide receivers, that's the starter. So I'm guessing they're going to keep 6. They're going to have to. So he's right on the line.
He's got to play special teams too. Those guys, if you're on down the depth chart, you got to play special teams.
And the thing about Sage, he's a pretty decent defender. I don't think he would be scared. He's not scared of tackling anybody. So I think that might help him. But he's a really good athlete too, and he's strong. His thing is, and I don't know how he's doing in camp and everything, is I would say his knock going in the draft with Tom was the speed thing. He's just not a flat speedster, and in the NFL, if you're a 4.4, they think you're so much better than a 4.7, whether you can catch or not.
You got to be able to run routes too.
You got to be able to run in the right spot.
You got to run the routes, make the reads.
Tebow and the running back ran in the right spot. Somebody was in the wrong spot. And you got to do that.
Did you see the Tebow news? If we could say that Tebow whiffed on a block and then he was cut the next day.
Well, yeah. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
They made the point that Tebow was okay until he let the world see he couldn't block, and that was going to be the thing to from the start. If you're going to tight end, is you've got to block. You got to block grown men.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between running a route and blocking someone.
And there's a difference between having some gym muscles and being able to block. Now,
Right.
he's in phenomenal shape, but that doesn't mean, that doesn't mean he can go out there and do it because
Right.
there's technique and
now,
you have to know how to do it.
And now, Tom, this, though, is one reason why the roster should be expanded. You don't have room on the rosters for a Swiss Army knife.
Right. Yeah, it's a good point.
If you have 50 people in your roster, like we were just talking a minute ago, you can have Tebow's and Taysom Hills as your third string quarterback.
Right.
Or your fourth string. And then that guy, then Tebow can make a roster. Because you can get him in there and you can hand the ball off to the dude.
Yeah.
You can have him run the option near the goal line. But you don't want
to use a roster
You can't
spot
give him
for
a
that.
number 2 backup quarterback
Right.
roster spot for that. And that's
Right.
the issue. Even a 3, because he's got to come in and run the scout team. And that's not what his job is to run the football, not run the scout team.
That's why I think it'd be more fun if you had a couple extra players.
Right.
It makes it more interesting. Yeah,
You've got those kids from colleges that do run the option that you can bring in and even let's say this. So, and this is what I don't like. So let's look at Chaz Surratt. So Chaz, if you have the extra roster spots and they're putting athletes at those positions, he would be a prime number 1 candidate for that, right? So here's the difference, though. Lamar, you're ready to play. We put you in. We're going. Chaz, you're almost ready to play. We're going to make you play linebacker. Instead of, hey, we're going to keep you around like Taysom Hill. We're going to run you. He could do the same things he does.
Yeah.
And you could do all that with him, but without that roster spot, without you being able to do that, I think you do lose a lot of athletes. Say, like I said, either if you're Lamar Jackson, if you're MVP caliber, you get a chance. But if you're an 8 instead of a 10 at that ability, they don't even give you the chance to even run it. And it's weird. And then they even do to the backup quarterbacks we've talked before. If you got to run an offense, why is your backup quarterback not a running quarterback?
Yeah, you've never even really heard him much toying around with the expanded roster. I mean, you've never heard him say, "Hey, let's dress 50 or 51 guys."
Well,
you
the
never
owners
even
ain't
hear
going
mention-
to.
Yeah,
That's the money out of their pocket.
I know, and it's really a shame that it does come down to that because I'd say most of the owners are doing pretty
You
well.
would think in the negotiations, Tom, I'm glad you brought that up, that to think about that, every time that we have new negotiations, you should be, if the money's going up, cap's going up, everything's going up, why aren't we adding the roster spots? Because we obviously can afford it. If you got 5 guys at the minimum wage, that's $1 million or $2 million. Come on. David Tepper, $2 million for 5 extra roster spots.
I think it was funny. Another thing that I've been keeping up with is the Trevor Lawrence down there in Jacksonville, and I'm telling you what, the reviews are so mixed on him, man. Some people are going to say that he's the real deal. He's ready to go. He's ready to play. He's beat out Minshew. He's going to be the starter. And then other people say he's a bust. You can already tell he's a bust. He can't keep up with the speed of the game. You talk about the college game. I think one thing that these guys need to realize that when they come from college, you can't hold the ball as long as you did in college. And that's one thing I saw him do, is just hold the ball too long. Now, he made one fantastic throw where he held the ball, but, I think it was about 6 seconds. I said, but you're not going to get that much time in a pro game on any given day. And I think that's an adjustment they have to make because the game is so much faster than it is the college level.
Well, being able to run is a blessing and a curse in that sense as a quarterback, because you really – so, when you practice time, you practice. I'm going to take 3 steps. I'm going to take 5 steps. But then when you do in the game, there's a 300-pound guy right there.
Yeah.
So just because the guy's open, this is what you have to explain to wide receivers. Just because you're open in this split second doesn't mean my feet are set and ready to throw it to you in that second.
Yeah.
So if I'm not ready that second when you're open, then I got to go to another wide receiver. And there's so many times where you end up at 2, 3, 4 wide receivers that if you're tucking and running, you'll never get to that. And there's always one linebacker, somebody looking for you to come out. And so it's
unless you're Lamar Jackson, it's tough.
If you can't beat them just on straight speed, it's tough to play that way. Cam looks like is probably going to get the start. We'll see.
I tell you what, I might.
Bridgewater named starter.
Is he going to start in Denver?
Yes.
That's good for him.
And then somebody else was just named the starter I was going to mention a second ago. not Haskins.
Who's still out there in Denver? Locke? Is he still out there in
he
Denver?
beat Drew Lock out. Dang it, I just saw the highlight. Where was it? It said somebody was named. Oh, James Winston.
He's going to start down there over Hill in not in Arizona, in New Orleans.
I was looking at the Arizona thing. All right, Tommy Brownie's 2-0 in the preseason.
Yeah, I've watched them. They're not playing any starters. Really, they're not playing. I haven't seen any starters out there whatsoever, and that's a philosophy that a lot of teams have now. Is you watch at Jacksonville, and they're throwing a lot of starters out there because they got to figure it out. But at Cleveland, if you're a contender, you don't put starters out there. And there's some rumblings from the fans. But I would tell them, just kind of just trust your coaching staff and trust your GM. I mean, it's just you don't want to get a guy out. I mean, you're still going to get hurt. You don't want to get a guy hurt in that. And they've been practicing. It's not the same. I know it's not the same. But I'm going to tell you what. What if you throw Baker Mayfield out there and then somebody comes out there and hits him in the knees and he's done for the season? It's one of those things.
You got Case Keenum though.
What's that?
You just said we're good though, because
but still, it's like I like where they're at right now, and like every once in a while, my brother will throw some crazy rumor like they're going to trade OBJ. I'm like, why are they? I was like, don't, or they're going to trade Kareem Hunt. That's another one. No, don't do anything. Don't do anything stupid. Just keep everybody together. You've got one of I'd say arguably top 5 talent in the NFL. Don't do anything stupid. Just don't do anything stupid. So we'll see. I don't think they're going to make any moves, but trading your good capital, that's what you do when you're not going to win. So, but if you're built to win now, you don't trade pieces away. So I think everybody needs to calm down. They still have that Cleveland mentality, we got to trade this guy and get something for him. And it's like, no, we don't have to do that right now. We've got, what I've seen, I've liked. I think some of their rookies like Newsom and JOK are going to make good contributions on defense. Got to see them play a little bit, because they're rookies. Felton, I think, is going to help the offense. He's another rookie they drafted. So, and that brings me to another point. You got to hit on these draft picks, Kevin, especially in the later rounds. Like your 3rd and 4th round guys, you got to find a few guys there. Of course, you got to hit on your first, but your later round guys, man, you want to hit on those. Those don't cost you as much money, and we know this. It's a money game in the NFL.
So let's do some odds real quick before we take the last break. Browns over under is 10.5 wins. Tom, the odds to win the AFC 8-1, Super Bowl 16-1 odds.
I tell you what, I might put a Franklin on that. That's a pretty good bet there. I mean They've got enough talent.
Here's you a Super Bowl bet if you want to make some money. Pittsburgh 40-1.
It's hard to say.
Big Ben's never had a losing season in his career.
Didn't they lose the running back Connor too? He went somewhere else.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he went somewhere else. I don't know. They've
Patriots
always got a
and
good
Dolphins
defense.
30-1 are the same.
What's Buffalo?
12-1.
They like Buffalo a little bit more than Cleveland now. They like Allen over Mayfield. I think it's the main thing. Is they think that he's they consistently rank him above, and it's such a quarterback dominant league. So
they both got the same number of playoff wins as Tim Tebow.
I know. I know.
I like that one for my Dak Prescott fans out there.
Yeah,
that one. We'll get to them in just a second. I just can't wrap my head around that yet.
What are the Jaguars to win the Super Bowl?
125-1. There's only 32 teams in the NFL.
Might as well put $10 on that, Might as well. Kansas City, what are they, like 2-1, 3-1?
5-1.
Best odds?
12.5 wins. I think
San Diego's up there. I mean, excuse me.
No,
Los
not.
Angeles. What are they?
He's Los Angeles is. San Diego's not. As you just correct yourself.
Yeah, Los Angeles 6-1.
You said that the other night on the radio. I laughed. He's like, I'll never get San Diego right.
No,
that'll be hard.
No.
That is hard. Vegas 81. How about Cowboys 30-1? Dak Prescott prediction comeback player of the year. Over under 9 wins. Now, Tom, again, I asked this to people. If your team is 1-3, the only win you have is because the other team didn't jump on an onside kick. Your quarterback's leg fell off. You gave him $45 million a year after it fell off. And that's your only thing you've done. And you're telling me Now you're going 12-5.
They changed the defensive coordinator.
Well, whoop-de-doo.
Okay. So they seem to be more. They seem to think the defense is a little better this year.
No, God, no. It's not. It's terrible. If you want, I've seen a few clips of the Dallas, and it was bad last year. And their only saving grace, and we said this, is that division's so terrible. Dak has a winning record against the division and losing against everyone else.
I just don't think Washington's that terrible.
You're right, but they might be 8-7. Now, I like a good defense. Yeah, 10-7. Yeah. I like a good defense, Tom, that Washington has, and I like a good defense having a gunslinger, because that really means they're in every game. Because he might drop 3 touchdowns, and your defense just holds people. So I like Washington as far as that goes. Now,
have they named a starter there? Is it going to be Fitzmagic or Heineke, or who's it going to be?
I'm pretty sure it's Fitzmagic. I don't even think it was a competition.
I mean, it's fun to watch him. I mean, he keeps both teams in the games. He'll have 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I mean, it's fun to watch him. So it's never dull. I'm just telling you, as long as, the beard in there. He's got like 9 kids.
Oh, goodness.
Got his own football team
him
to coach.
And Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, him and Phillip Rivers.
Match up a softball game.
Yeah, if they could. Yep.
Well, Cowboys are 30-1. Over/under wins is 9 for them. Like I said, where do they come up with the 9 wins?
Because they're Dallas. Because they're Dallas, Kevin. I mean, it's just that
that's why I quit both.
Somebody mind exploded because in like the NFL power, they do NFL power polls. They were 11th in the power poll, and it's like their mind exploded. They're Dallas. It's always going to be like that with Dallas every single year. Dallas could have 0 talent, and they'll still say they might sneak in the playoffs. That's just the way it is.
Panthers 7.5 wins is the over/under, Tom.
I might take the over on that. I think they might be able to get to 9 wins if Darnold plays well. I think they have a good chance. The division's not that strong. You don't have to contend with Breeze anymore. He's retired.
That's their saving grace.
Atlanta's not real good. Tampa Bay's in there. You got to deal with them.
That's just you still go 15-2.
Yeah. I mean, it's you got Tampa Bay, but the other 2 teams aren't that strong. And I think the Panthers, they drafted a lot of defense. I think they're going to be okay. Are they going to win the Super? No, but I've in watching them in preseason, it's hard to tell a little bit, but I think they, I like their backup quarterback. I can't remember his name. You asked me that today. I can't, but I thought he played pretty well. And they brought in Greer. I didn't think Greer looked as strong. I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be better than you think they're going to be.
5 wins is what I think.
No. Well, let's take that bet now. Let's take that bet. Let's take that bet now, Kevin. You think they're going to get 5 wins? Let's take that bet now. What do you want to bet?
I mean,
you won't take. Oh, he's quiet now. He's quiet. He won't take the bet.
You have to make it a half, either 5.5 or 4.5. It can't be just 5.
It's 5.5. I'll say they'll get 6 wins. I'll take that bet.
No, they're under, whatever you want.
Okay, all right.
I'll buy you breakfast.
What are we betting? Breakfast?
I don't know.
A steak. How about some Outback or something? Blooming onion. That's what we're gonna bet.
I don't know how excited I am about a Carolina Panthers bet.
Well, you always you just think they're not as
Say
terrible.
Yes or no if you've heard of this person before. Taylor Moton.
No.
John Miller.
No.
Matt Paradis.
No.
Pat Elfin.
No.
Cameron Irving.
Yes.
Dan Arnold.
I think so.
What position does he play?
Offensive line?
Tight end.
Okay. Close enough.
Terrace Marshall Jr.
No.
DJ Moore.
Yes.
Robbie Anderson.
Yes.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
Sam Darnold.
Yes.
So you got 5 of the 11 Panthers offensive players. Defense. Brian Burns.
No.
Derek Brown.
Seems like I have.
Daquan Jones.
Seems like I've heard that one too. Yeah.
Morgan Fox.
Yes.
Shaq Thompson.
Shaquille.
Shaq Thompson.
Seems like I've heard. Seems like I have heard that name.
Jermaine Carter.
Yeah, I've heard that name.
Hassan Reddick.
Plays defensive back.
Linebacker.
Okay.
Dante Jackson.
No.
Jeremy Chin.
Yes.
Justin Burris.
Yes.
J.C. Horn.
Yeah, I've heard that name.
Now, Tom, you saying that's going to get 9 wins?
I didn't say 9. You said.
Know. I said 5.
I think they'll.
The over under 7.5.
Yeah, I think I might take the over. I think they might get to 8 wins.
All right, we'll see. If Sam Darnold can complete a swing pass, they'll have a chance. All right, JP, when we come back, we're gonna wrap up the show on Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Question: where do you buy a used car with a lifetime warranty? The answer is Friendship in Forest City. Friendship has lifetime warranty on new and used cars. Unlimited time, unlimited miles. That's Friendship Nissan and Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated '1 for reliability, Z Series mowers and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home the Kubota BX 2380 tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain. Would you believe Tom's Tables in Cherryville has the largest selection of pool tables in the area? Well, it's true. Over 80 tables ready to go. And now Tom's Tables is offering a spring special. Take $150 off any table in stock. Come on out and see the selection. A pool table would make a great gift for the entire family. And remember Tom's Table for pool table repair. From replacing cushions to assembling to dismantling, moving, and more. Call 704-678-0064 or drop by. Tom's Tables, 7507 Dallas Cherryville Highway at Pink's Auto Sales. For your party, family gathering, or just a get-together of friends, get it catered by Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks in Gastonia. Check out their party packs, including pork or chicken or beef with barbecue sauce, slaw, plates, cups, eating utensils, serving utensils, potato salad, buns, and sweet tea and ice. And delivery is available. For more information, call 704-824-8838. Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks, 305 South Main Street in Lowell. Open Monday through Thursday, 11 to 9, Friday and Saturday, 11 to 9:30, and 11 to 3 on Sunday. Also call for employment opportunities that are now available. And now Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks are taking applications for employment. There's nothing like cash in your pocket, especially if you can turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling in Gastonia. For over 25 years, this locally family-owned and operated business has been giving some of the best prices for scrap. They take tungsten scrap carbide, as well as stainless steel, aluminum, copper, and brass. Need help? Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling will supply you with a roll-off container to help make your recycling easy. Turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling. 305 Dogwood Street in Gastonia. Call 704-827-9468. Online at GastonUsedAutoPartsAndRecycling.com. Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville and the Falston Pharmacy in Falston are open to serve you. You can come on in and get your prescription filled, or you can continue to use their convenient drive-through window. And at Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville, the grill is also open for breakfast and lunch. You can even call your order in at 704-435-3259 and pick it up at the drive-thru. And both stores are welcoming patient transfers. Buy local, shop local at Medical Center Pharmacy, 607 East Academy Street in Cherryville, and the Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 North in Falston.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and Tom. And, Tom, I think you should mention our friends at... And Tom, I think you should mention our friends at...
Thank you once again to Friendship.
JP, we're having a little fun. Good morning,
Yeah,
buddy.
thank you once again for Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and Friendship Nissan for making Saturday morning sports talk possible. Go see them in Forest City. Go home with a new ride today.
Big news in NASCAR that I didn't know until I saw the headline. Kurt Busch is going to be joining a second Cup car owned by Denny Hamlin, X23 and Michael Jordan next year. So Kurt Busch is moving over to join to ride with the looks like number 4, maybe 45. So they'll be racing.
Is that a better ride?
It's a new car.
Yeah.
No and yes, no. Supposedly, but it hasn't turned into anything for Bubba Wallace. Hasn't turned into any results. I actually read a story about him the other day. They're basically saying he does good on short runs. So, like, passing while everyone, you start off in a pack, Everybody's, together. He could pass a few cars. Yeah. He averages 3 or 4 cars a pass. So he averages basically starting 20th and finishing 15th in that. But when you have long runs, he tends to back up. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work right for them. They don't have the speed yet. It's one of those weird things in the sport. Like, you sit there and talk about equipment, Tom, but is it the drivers or not? We do put you in better equipment, you hadn't won anything. So the guy in his spot that took his spot last year has won already. So you think things like that. So anyway, NASCAR this weekend, back to Daytona. So Terry's going to be excited about this. Cup at Daytona Saturday night under the lights tonight.
That'll be fun.
Starting lineup doesn't really matter because it's Daytona, but Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Blaney, Truex. You want to see where Bubby is? What did I tell you his average starting was?
I think it was 22nd or something.
20th. He's 20th. Starting 20th.
Yeah. Yeah, it just hasn't really translated into victories yet, or really even top 10s, has it, Kevin?
No.
He's not really been talked about too much.
No. Checking my news and notes. I really don't have too much this week, Tom. Not too much silliness going on in the world. But they raced tonight at 7 o'clock.
I'm
glad,
glad,
on WCSL 1598.
Yeah, I'm going to get to watch a little bit of that one. If you can't watch it, I'm just telling you, the radio coverage of the NASCAR is great. Tune in. It's really great coverage.
I'm just looking at it now here. Talk about the King getting ready for NASCAR. There's Richard Petty.
Don't forget to tell people to go see Calvin, too, at Earl 10 to 4 today, 11 to 3 for a remote. So just want to get that in, too, before we get off.
Another quick note, the numbers on the NASCAR teams will be moving and changing. They're getting smaller.
Yeah, I see that.
Towards the front of the car.
Not on the door.
Or the back.
Yeah. Not on the door that doesn't open.
What they're trying to do is get more ad space.
Oh, yeah.
For their main sponsors on the side, so when they do change and have the different cars, they can do the thing. So there you go.
You got to pay the bills, Kevin.
NASCAR this weekend tonight, WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM on this radio channel you're listening to. You're watching live Saturday Morning Sports Talk, KTCBroadcasting.com, with usually Tom Sinfani, Terry Reinhardt, Kevin Hastings. Terry had to leave a little bit early. JP's in the house. He had a long night. Good day. JP, take your nap today.